You may have seen Selena Gomez rocking out as Hannah Montana's rival.
Miss Hannah, I'm taking all your fantas.
Or as the heartthrob of both Zach and Cody. Now check out Selena on the set of the all-new Disney Channel original series, Wizards of Waverly.
Wizards of Waverly Place was one of my favorite shows as a kid and an absolute staple of Disney in the 2000s. The series follows the Russo family. Former wizard Jerry and his human wife Teresa run a Subway-themed sub-sandwich restaurant called the Waverly Substation. Their kids Alex, Justin, and Max are wizards in training who have to hide the existence of magic from everyone at school. Episodes of the show tended to follow a tried-and-true formula. Jerry teaches the kids about some new magical concepts, which one of the kids, usually Alex, pretty much always Alex, sneakily uses to help them dodge responsibility or improve their social life. It inevitably gets out of their control every time, and the siblings have to bail each other out of their situation and hide it from their mom and dad. An added twist of this series is the non-specific, though perpetually looming ticking clock that is the Family Wizard competition. From the very beginning, it's clear that eventually, the three kids will have to compete against each other for the title of Family Wizard, a contest that only one of them will win, which will strip the others of their powers. This being the reason Jerry no longer has powers of his own.
We all know that I'm the one that's gonna win the Family Wizard contest and keep my powers.
Yeah, that's not for a long while, Justin.
The series pilot, Crazy 10-Minute Sale, lays the groundwork for how a traditional episode plays out. We open on a typical wizard lesson as Jerry teaches the kids about a duplication spell.
If you don't concentrate, it doesn't come out exactly right.
I was thinking about dogs when I cast the spell.
Alex receives a notification that a crazy 10-minute sale is occurring at her favorite store soon, and she is desperate to go. Jerry's not having it, though.
Let's roll the answer dice, shall we? No!
At school, Alex and her best friend Harper face down their rival since kindergarten, Gigi, the most popular girl in the entire school.
What happened to you two? Did your noses so hard they fell off?
They got nose jobs. When they heal, they'll be just like Gigi's. When's Gigi's gonna heal?
Gigi taunts that she has the cutest jacket in the store set aside for her at the crazy 10-minute sale, and she's gonna claim it. Alex is not gonna let her rival get that cute jacket before her, and she's now desperate to claim it first at all costs. Can you tell men wrote this?
No, you should keep them. It goes so well with your eyebrow. Well, at least I don't have man hands. I mean, how do you get those meat stubs through your sleeves?
She performs the duplication spell on herself, leaving her barking clone to attend wizard lessons while Max covers for her. She, meanwhile, goes to the crazy 10-minute sale with Harper. A wrench gets thrown into the plan when Teresa is also at the sale.
Oh my gosh, Alex's mom!
Since Alex couldn't come, I'm gonna get something for her. Well, this'll be fun.
Gigi's jacket isn't where she left it.
Oh, we completely rearranged the store for the sale because a lot of people sneak in early and hide stuff.
And now it's a desperate race to get it first, while Harper hides Alex from her mom. At wizard training, Justin takes great pleasure as Alex's clone reveals she's not the real Alex. He's a stickler for the rules, but he ain't no snitch, and we respect that. Jerry leaves to find Alex, and the boys decide to mess with their sister's half-baked clone. Unfortunately, Max has left the E-Mimic setting on his wand, and everything they do to clone Alex happens to real Alex, as she uncontrollably spins through the store and causes a massive scene. Alex's parents catch her, there's a cat fight over the jacket, Gigi humiliates Alex,
Hey everyone, there's a freak show by the jeans rack.
and then Alex humiliates Gigi.
Attention shoppers, Gigi's real name is Gertrude.
Tonight we're learning more about the fight between two women at a Walmart that ended with one of them dead and the other charged with murder. We now know that the two women were married.
Alex is so proud of herself, she really thinks she won that battle. It's like, no, honey, you didn't accomplish anything. You just humiliated yourself at a Walmart. Jerry struggles to decide which one of his kids is in more trouble today. Naturally, it's Alex. She learns a valuable lesson about responsibility. Revenge wasn't worth making her brothers and best friend lie for her. She's grounded for 4 weeks. In the end, Jerry doesn't want to go on a date with Teresa, and he asks Alex to clone him so he can watch TV while his clone goes on the date with his wife. Which doesn't seem contradictory at all. That's basically the very familiar pattern that the show runs with for the first 2 seasons. Alex uses magic to be sneaky, it gets out of control somehow, and she gets in trouble. But like a contemporary show from the network, Phineas and Ferb, Wizards of Waverly Place takes joy in breaking and twisting its own formula as frequently as it can, as you'll see soon.
No wizards were harmed in the making of this promo. Meet the Wizards of Waverly Place. First, there's Alex.
How do I look?
Why?
Because I'm going to duplicate myself, and if I look ugly, I don't want to look twice as ugly.
Her older brother, Justin.
I'm just the guy with the talking zit on my forehead.
I'm right here.
Your zit just talked to me.
And her younger brother, Max.
Either I just found Dad's wand, or I cracked my butt knuckle.
They're 3 wizards in training, living in one world,
Let's take her up.
learning in another.
Watch out! Watch out!
Watch where?
Be there for the premiere of Wizards of Waverly Place, coming this fall.
On Disney Channel.
Having not seen an episode of this show since it faded from syndication in 2012-2013, that triggered deep repressed childhood memories in a way that didn't happen to me during my Lab Rats rewatch. I don't know how to explain it, but I was in middle school when Lab Rats was airing, and in middle school, I pretty much just felt like an adult. A weird side effect of that is that I don't really feel nostalgia for things I did and watched in middle school. I hadn't seen Lab Rats in like 6 years, but the whole thing felt very familiar. Whereas every couple minutes of Wizards clawed back into the darkest recesses of my conscious mind and pulled forward little lines and moments that I vividly remembered but hadn't thought about in years.
I even bought this stupid bolo tie.
Bolo ties are not stupid.
She told me my backpack was bending my spine, so she gave me hers to even it out. Let's check. There, all straight. You're welcome.
Let's start off Thursday's class like we always do, with an oral pop quiz.
Oh my gosh, it's the Thursday pop quiz we have every Thursday. I'm totally caught off guard.
Let's briefly introduce the cast, although we don't need to spend too long on them. There are 6 principal characters and no frequent recurring characters as of the first season. Alex, played by Selena Gomez, is a rebellious underachiever, unlike any other.
Alex, did you make those brownies?
Oh gosh. Yep.
She's completely reckless, the direct cause of basically every single thing that goes wrong in the entire series, and yet because of this character's natural charisma, you completely forgive her every single time across all 110 episodes.
Riding in the cab was awesome, and we're not even that late.
We missed 2 periods.
Ugh. Okay, fine. You're late, but this is when I usually get here. Oh, well.
She's lazy as hell until someone challenges her or doubts her, after which she becomes the most motivated human being on the entire planet to prove her challenger wrong at all costs. Every girl wanted to be like her growing up, every boy wanted to be like her growing up. Alex Russo feels like a well-rounded, actual person, and she is the greatest Disney Channel protagonist of all time.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. First of all, take out $5.
Why?
I need $5. Second.
Justin, played by David Henry, is just Chase from Lab Rats if he were a good character. He's a know-it-all, expert student with an ego, but the difference is that Justin cares about his family more than about himself. Whereas Chase literally plans to let a scientist die to prove he's smarter than him, Justin will, at the end of the day, drop whatever he's doing to bail his sister out and forgive her. He never gets annoying, and this is a character who easily could.
Just think about how our lives would be.
I could read books in the dark.
Magic is a waste with you.
He is also just as integral to this show as Alex. Selena Gomez gets all the credit, all the promotion, because she was the pop star Disney was grooming to be as profitable as possible. But David Henry has just as much screen time and screen presence as Selena. Wizards of Waverly Place isn't her story, it's their story together.
Yep, you're so clever. Hey, you want to go get some ice cream?
Sure.
Yep, you're so clever. Now you're locked out.
That's okay. I'll catch up with Miranda and tell her about your doll collection.
They're action figures!
Max, played by Jake T. Austin, is a naive but well-mannered little kid. He's a clumsy little guy, he's the type to sit on a wand and break it. But he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. His personality shifts a bit as he grows older across the seasons. Jerry, played by David DeLuise, is the dad from Good Luck Charlie if he used to be a wizard. He's a supportive but stern father, bit of a goofy guy sometimes. He doesn't want magic used irresponsibly, but occasionally he'll relent just a little. And Teresa, played by Maria Canals-Barrera, is equally supportive, but even more no-nonsense than Jerry.
Hey, Alex, you missed a little spot right there.
What do you mean?
It's the only spot in this house that doesn't have your junk all over it.
We're taking your brother shopping, and by the time we get back, I expect you to have all your stuff back up in your room.
Okay. Come on, Max. You got a lot of cleaning up to do.
No.
She knows about the whole secret wizard world, and she generally dislikes magic and constantly demands for her kids to not perform it in the house. They don't listen. And Harper, played by Jennifer Stone, is Alex's quirky best friend. Huge emphasis on quirky.
It smells like shampoo.
It's a sweater entirely made of my hair.
Oh.
She wears a new outfit in every episode, created out of random objects, and has no social awareness at all.
Harper! What? That's what I do. Oh, and get the small soda because it's free refills.
Harper! When I said Harper, I meant stop talking.
The 5 members of the Russo family genuinely feel like well-rounded, actual people in this first season. They're remarkably well written. Then there's Harper, who is a complete cartoon character who feels like she's in the wrong show.
I'm not sure whether I should scream or laugh, so I'm gonna do both at the same time.
She has an obsessive crush on Justin. Disney sitcoms always have to have one character with an overzealous crush, and this time it's Harper.
Just because you don't know I'm your girlfriend doesn't mean you can sneak around behind my back.
It's not the worst thing in the world. Like in Lab Rat's Elite Force, every time Oliver looked at Skylar, I felt like he wanted to commit a felony. I don't get that impression here. It's kind of just the same joke over and over and over and over. As a kid, I watched every episode, but for some reason I had no memory of Harper having this crush on Justin. I don't know why that's something I forgot, because it's very prevalent, constantly. The first season of 21 episodes aired from October 12th, 2007 to August 31st, 2008. The show runs with an A-B story structure. The A plot always involves magic and is about 70% of the episode, whereas the B plot tends to be magic-less and is much shorter. Alex and Justin carry the show, with every A plot in season 1 starring one of those two or both. Jerry and Teresa have the second most prominent role in the first season. Harper, due to not knowing about magic, is often never involved in the A story and doesn't appear in a big chunk of the season. The least prominent main cast member in the season by far is Max. He never gets to command an A plot or a B plot. He usually just has a running gag in each episode. I'm wondering if some sort of child labor laws prevented him from appearing most of the time, because it honestly feels like he was only on set for 1 or 2 days of the week-long filming periods for each episode. And now let's this, in which Jerry teaches a do-over spell, which can rewind time by a few seconds and let a wizard fix a dire mistake.
McReary time rear.
Whoa!
Jerry explains that this spell, McReary Time Reary, is actually the source of deja vu. The show likes to ground magic by tying it into real-world phenomena that kids have heard of. Justin has been going out with this goth girl, Miranda, but he doesn't have the courage to kiss her, which she interprets as him not being interested. Alex decides to step in and help her brother's social situation, but she fails and inadvertently sets Miranda up with a different guy. In the little B story, Max has casually and inadvertently created the most delicious sandwich of all time, which businessman Mr. Malone wants to make the official sandwich of the New York Mets. Mets.
Mets! 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 Mets!
He and his colleagues will be returning tomorrow to taste test the sandwich and finalize their decision. Unfortunately, Max doesn't remember how he made the sandwich, and Jerry and Teresa spend the story refreshing his memory until he can finally recreate it. Both stories collide when Justin brings Miranda to a movie to finally kiss her. Alex has snuck there to watch, and so has an extremely jealous Harper. After Justin accidentally fails the kiss, Alex decides to help him out by performing the do-over spell to give him a second chance. He fails. Over and over and over and over. By reversing the flow of time repeatedly, Mr. Malone is tasting Max's sandwich over and over and over.
Nothing really new here.
You're right. A better name would be Deja Vu, because somehow I feel like I've tasted this before.
Jerry pieces together what's going on and rushes to his kid's location, inexplicably knowing where they are, which chronologically doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't have been able to make it there, because she keeps looping time back to before Mr. Malone takes the bite. Whatever, he got there. But when Alex explains the situation, Jerry decides to give them one more shot, and Justin finally succeeds in kissing Miranda, at the cost of the Russo family's business opportunity. It shows that Jerry really cares about his kids, understands their struggles, and is willing to turn his head the other way sometimes in situations that'll make them really happy. That night, Justin realizes that Alex, who'd been giving him kissing advice the entire episode, has never actually kissed a boy herself. Then at school the next day, she kisses a random boy, so Justin no longer has anything held over her. Before we go any further, I want to start keeping track of the lore of the wizard world, marking down all the things that exist. Things will get very, very wacky. Right here in episode 2, we're introduced to the ability to reverse time. Something which seems extremely useful, could have come in handy in almost every single episode of the show, and yet was not used again. It's far from the only spell like that. We've also got to make another addition immediately, because I Almost Drowned in a Chocolate Fountain, episode 3, revolves around the concept of pocket elves, a small species in which each elf has infinite knowledge on one specific subject each, and are forced to work for wizards against their will despite being fully sentient beings. So we'll just write magic slavery. Before anyone says, hey, you stole this list idea from Quentin Reviews, I say, nuh-uh. Prove it, I think he stole his list from this video. Pocket elves are obsessed with chocolate, with even the slightest sliver of it setting them on an uncontrollable sugar high, and we're told you cannot let a pocket elf bite you. Alex is asked on a group date by a cute boy at school named Riley, but she isn't allowed to go because she's failing her Spanish class. Teresa spends much of the episode tutoring her to no avail.
¿Cómo se dice?
Capito.
Honey, just adding ito to a word doesn't make it Spanish.
You say como se dice before everything. Is that Spanish?
Alex decides to simply bring a pocket elf specializing in Spanish to school to help her pass the test. After that happens, she's free to go on the date. Earlier in the episode, she ratted out her brothers for playing paintball on the terrace. And to get revenge, they decide to sneak a pocket elf and a chocolate bar in her bag to, I guess, expose the wizard world? I don't know what their plan was specifically. I guess they were just trying to embarrass her and never thought it through. Once they realize Max forgot the chocolate, they sneak to the restaurant to place it in the bag with the help of a waiter.
Excuse me, what are you doing? Trying to figure out how to get chocolate into that purse. Why?
To mess with our sister.
I have a sister. Get in.
They succeed and the pocket elf bites Alex's finger.
I'm eating chocolate like there's no tomorrow, and there may not be. And you can't have any, you can't have any.
Which swiftly turns her into a chocoholic, stealing everyone's dessert and sliding in a pile of chocolate. Weirding Riley out to the point that he leaves and runs away. Although he eventually forgets about this, I guess, because he keeps seeing Alex in future episodes. Eventually, Jerry figures out what all three kids did and they get busted. I think they've learned their lesson about using magic irresponsibly and will never do it again. This portion of the video is sponsored by HelloFresh. This is a sibling. We're gonna cook this.
We are siblings, and that is true. We are gonna cook that.
For the last year now, I've been ignoring every sponsorship email. 50% to give myself feelings of power, and 50% because they're not things I care about or use. But I took on HelloFresh because I've been really curious about this. They sent me a box in the mail.
That is not how you slice that.
Officer, do you know where I can get some pot?
I work out. It's mom and dad's fault that they never taught us how to cook.
Do you want to relive childhood trauma on camera?
No.
They've got a weekly selection of over 30 recipes, over 70 convenience items. All of them only take like 30 minutes to cook, and they get delivered right to your door with instructions and every ingredient included.
Keaton, aren't there chicken breasts? Aren't there chicken breasts? Like actual chicken. There was chicken in the bag.
Forgot about these materials.
You thought you had to pat that dry with a paper towel?
I made a mistake, but now I'm rectifying it. HelloFresh, thank you for sending us a meal that is on average 28% cheaper than at your local grocery store. And up to 72% cheaper according to a Zagat dining survey. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POGKEANDEC70 for 70% off plus free shipping on your first box. Once you click, my description will live update to count up the purchases. I didn't choose POG, but that was just the default code, I couldn't change it. What are you waiting for? All your friends are doing it, all your friends are gonna look at you and say, huh? You haven't gone to POG for 70%? Then they're all gonna laugh at you and you're gonna feel embarrassed. So do it!
Alex doesn't take magic as seriously as her brothers because she likes to have fun with magic.
Alex? Your report on crystal balls, history, usage, and manufacturing?
Oh, I did mine on how to use the really little ones for earrings.
In New Employee, Alex begs her parents to hire Harper as an employee at the substation, and it's pretty much just the SpongeBob episode where Patrick works at the Krusty Krab. Harper's not very good at anything. The family reach an agreement that she needs to go, but Alex doesn't want to fire her herself.
If we stay in here long enough, Harper won't be able to find anyone and she'll just leave.
She decides to simply cast an excellent server spell on Harper, which is so oddly specific. Spells can be as broad as loop time back 10 seconds, or as specific as make this woman a great waitress. As if that's a situation wizards find themselves in frequently. Harper's now an absolutely amazing employee, a true workaholic, no time for friends or family due to her steadfast dedication to capitalism, and Alex misses her best friend now and fires her. Harper then fires Alex from being her best friend and applies at the yogurt parlor down the block. She becomes the employee of the month after a few hours and doesn't accept Alex when she comes to apologize. So, Alex Russo decides to simply undo the spell, turning Harper back into a klutz that Alex can continue to control and manipulate. But she humiliates herself alongside Harper as they try to contain the drizzle of a malfunctioning frozen yogurt machine. Because Disney Channel's main joke during this era was, ha 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 ha, the characters are messy, ah ha ha ha! And god damn it, as a small child, seeing characters become messy was the goofiest shit in the entire world, unparalleled joy. Meanwhile, all the school jocks have asked Justin to be their tutor, which draws Justin into conflict with the area's local tutor, Frankie, a child mob boss. He tells Justin to stop tutoring in his territory, but Justin doesn't listen, prompting a showdown for the ages.
Justin Russo. You thought you could hide, but you can't. Enforcers, assemble!
Underachievers, assemble! Guys, over here.
And they all just kind of chased Frankie, and that's it. A lot of the B stories in this show have a little bit too much going on to be considered a runner, but are drastically underdeveloped compared to typical B stories. This episode also contains the Crazy Hat song, which I barely remember, but apparently a lot of people really remember, especially the actors, because they recreated it on a semi-regular basis. Disenchanted Evening introduces the most criminally underused character of the whole show, TJ, a student at Justin and Alex's school who they discover is also a wizard.
Hey? Are you you just feel, wizard!
Only he's allowed to use magic freely whenever he wants because he has cool parents, unlike theirs. As it turns out though, he simply charmed his parents with a noodle kugel, overriding their free will and giving him free reign to control them.
We need to get Dad to let us use magic whenever we want.
Don't you already do that?
Yes, but I'm tired of getting in trouble for it. But Daddy, TJ's parents let him use magic all the time to do whatever. It's not fair.
Well, TJ Taylor's parents aren't your parents. My house, my rules.
The Taylor family comes to visit. Alex and TJ charm Mr. and Mrs. Russo, after which they let the kids do whatever they want.
Don't you think it's a little irresponsible to let TJ use magic whenever he wants? Cinnamony.
It is absolutely okay for TJ to use magic.
That is so right. I like your parenting style, Taylor.
Max is doing a science project on Mars, so Alex decides to simply teleport them to Mars.
This doesn't look right.
It's back online.
After Justin and Alex accidentally leave Max on Mars and teleport a Mars rover into the living room, which clearly has a functioning and recording camera being monitored by a room of people, by the way, I remember being confused by this as a small, dumb child. The episode and the characters just never acknowledge it. The writers forgot that they made this joke, apparently.
Oh, the Mars rover. That'll be great for Max's project. Max!
Alex is overwhelmed by guilt at the notion of not having her parents there to punish her.
No, you don't understand. I left Max on Mars. I should be in big trouble right now, and Dad should be fixing it.
What's the fix? Max will be fine.
You mean you don't even care that we left our brother on Mars?
We're just happy you're all having fun with magic.
It's not about that. It's about you not caring, and on top of this, I'm disrupting $1 million space program.
$1 billion.
$1 billion space program.
She and Justin find a way to reverse the effect of the charm, snapping Jerry and Teresa back to their normal selves. Alex is happy to be punished, and will surely never use magic irresponsibly again. This episode introduces a new set of ground rules for how magic gets conducted.
You didn't even use a spell.
Oh, right. See, spells are like training wheels. When you're really good, you don't need them.
But Alex does magic spell-less earlier in the episode, and it never tries to rectify this. She's clearly not an experienced wizard. There's no way she knows this and Justin doesn't. We won't bother adding this to the list because the show never mentions this rule again, and it's so clearly not abided by any other episode, which makes me wonder why it was even here because it's not a joke. Something very refreshing about this show is that anyone and everyone can talk. Basically, if a character has a line of dialogue specific to them in the script, you have to pay them at least a co-star rate, which is naturally more than a silent extra gets. Lab Rats apparently couldn't afford to pay anyone. It's so distracting how no one talks at the school ever except for the show's principal characters and like 4 other named students.
Why, hello there. And how are my highly qualified and underpaid educational leaders doing today? Hey, I'm not in your class. Give me that apple back!
But in Wizards, everyone speaks whenever, sometimes just saying one joke line that easily could have been given to someone already speaking in the episode. It's so surreal after the oppressive viewing experience of Lab Rats. The 20-episode first season of Lab Rats has 20 speaking characters. The 98 4-season run of Lab Rats has 81. The 21-episode first season of Wizards has 88 speaking roles. The 110-episode 4-season run of Wizards has 301. Technically, it could potentially be 6 less because there's 3 different episodes that have Cheerleader 1, Cheerleader 2, and Cheerleader 3, all of which are played by different actresses in all 3 instances. So this could either be the same 3 cheerleader characters recasted every time, or 3 different sets of 3 cheerleaders in each episode. You could make an argument either way, but I feel that no one in the world cares enough to try to make an argument. Either way, it's a lot more. It's a night and day difference between the amount of money going into both of these shows. In the end, Alex reverses the charm on TJ's parents as well, who promptly decide to punish him too. And it's insane to me that TJ doesn't become a recurring character after this. A sneaky, irresponsible magic user who goes to the kid's school, a perfect foil for Alex, and yet he's only in 1 more episode as a minor player in mid-season 2. He so easily could have become a love interest who brings out the darker sides of Alex. She has to have character development to get out of that relationship. He would have been a way better partner than everyone else the show paired her with. Missed potential if you ask me, especially with a catchphrase as undeniably humorous as this one.
I'll show you a pizza.
What did you say, kid?
I said, I'll show you a pizza.
You're always doing that. That doesn't even make sense.
I'll show you it doesn't make sense.
Dude, get a new insult book.
I'll show you I'll show you trouble.
That was never funny.
Hey, I'm Selena Gomez from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Me when I'm Selena Gomez from Wizards of Waverly Place and you're watching Disney Channel. You can't always get what you carpet is a forced pun, first of all, and also a pretty typical kid learns how to drive episode, just with a magic carpet instead of a car. The boys are putting up new wallpaper in Alex's bedroom and Jerry isn't ready for his little girl to grow up. She begs him for flying carpet lessons and he eventually agrees. Then he freaks out on the ride.
I'm not yelling, I'm just loud teaching. Watch out! Watch out!
Watch where? Watch where?
Where? Everywhere! Watch everywhere!
How can I watch everywhere?
Jerry's mad at Alex, she's sad and wants to mend her relationship with her daddy, so Justin offers to privately give her carpet training, so by the time her second lesson comes, she'll be a lot better. He's able to calmly teach her, and the flight goes smoothly as the two siblings put aside their differences and fly across New York City. During the flight, Alex stops at a magic carpet stoplight. This is the first instance of wizard infrastructure in place overlapping with the mortal world, something we'll continue to see.
Oh, look, we're flying over Shea Stadium.
Oh my gosh!
I got it! I got it! Oh.
Yeah, you got it.
When Alex and Jerry take their second flight, everything goes well, but Jerry indicates to Justin that he knows.
I didn't do anything.
Really? I was watching the Mets game the other day, and there was a fly ball that went up and never came down. You want to tell me something about that?
How was that his first assumption? Like, oh, this ball never came down during the game I'm watching. I guess my son's taking my daughter out on the flying carpet. That's the most natural conclusion to come to. Ho-ho. There's a little runner where Justin has to have the girly wallpaper put up in his room since Alex didn't want it in the beginning of the episode. So to compensate, he decides to put traditionally manly stuff in his room, only to be ultimately scared of it. It's funny because they obviously didn't make Justin his own bedroom set for this one scene. This is Alex's bedroom set, but they're framing it very tightly so you can't tell. To me, this is such a sweet story. I think that's what makes this show stand out because everything is geared towards exploring the relationships between the family and showing extra layers to how they interact. Fun fact, this is the very first episode produced and the wizard lair doesn't appear here, so I'm almost wondering if that set hadn't been completed yet. It's possible, you never know. In Alex's choice, Gigi invites Alex and Harper to her annual tea party, which Alex is suspicious of. She uses an oddly specific bat hearing spell to overhear Gigi's real intentions.
Do you see the L? It stands for loser, and it's gonna look so good on Harper when she's crowned the biggest loser.
Yeah, at our Who Can Bring the Biggest Loser party.
Harper won't take Alex's advice, so Alex simply tags along with her to the party to help her out. Here, this lady? Let's talk about her.
Welcome to tea at the Hotel Fleur du Blas, Glou Blas, Flou Flag and Fla.
The hotel what? How do you spell that?
In French. We are proud to present this tea, served to you on the finest china imported from Japan.
The store owner from Crazy 10 Minute Sale was so quirky and odd that I think they kept hiring the same actress, Amanda Tepe, to play a speaking character in like every other episode.
These sales get crazier and crazier every year.
Here she's the maitre d', she was the hostess at the chocolate restaurant, she was the manager at the frozen yogurt shop.
I know you've only been working here 4 hours, but congratulations, you're Employee of the Month. As soon as I get some photo paper, go home, hook it up to my printer, print it, bring it back here, I'll pin it up.
She's an icon, we see her all throughout season 1, we love her. It's not clear if this is supposed to be the same character, or if it's just several identical looking women across New York. Just as Gigi's about to give Harper the loser crown, Alex performs a truth-telling spell on her and her wannabes, forcing them to come clean about their intentions and deep disdain for each other.
If my parents could afford the same dermatologist as Gigi, I'd be way prettier than her.
Jennifer looks way prettier than me. I'm gonna talk her into a bad haircut. Hey, Jen, I'm gonna talk you into a bad haircut.
The truth is, I hate wearing this dress.
I'm gonna break this.
Do it.
That felt good. You know what I've always really wanted to do? This.
That was like fun.
Here's something I've always wanted to do.
See, the truth is that this tea is really a contest to see who can bring the biggest loser. And I brought Harper. She was just about to be crowned winner.
Harper apologizes to Alex and thanks her for having her back.
Hey everybody, I'm a wizard. Huh?
In the other plot, Max and Justin decide to write some prank mail and send off a letter saying they're trapped in the lava sea. The writers are starting to explore a mischievous side of Justin which wasn't visible in previous episodes, but they'll really start to define his character as the series progresses. Officer Lamp and Goblin arrive to interrogate the family and ultimately punish them for misusing wizard mail.
Officer Lamp, this is my partner. He's a goblin.
I have a name.
Yeah, but nobody can pronounce that. Was that short enough for you?
Oh, now we're doing short jokes?
Alright, tense race relations with Goblin. And this is just the beginning. As the show goes on, you will see that the wizard world's government is one of the most corrupt, evil organizations in any fiction ever. Curb Your Dragon is a lesson about being scammed, and kind of a weird one at that. Alex disobeys Jerry and summons a dragon salesman. And the dragons are just lizards with CGI wings, and I think that's the funniest thing in the entire world. I sure didn't know that as a kid. One of the dragons just happens to look like a dog. And Justin thinks it's adorable, as it looks exactly like a dog he had as a kid.
When I was 7, he got lost, and I swore I'd never love another dog again.
However, he's not willing to disobey his dad and he turns down buying the dragon. Alex doesn't do that though. She decides to buy it immediately after Justin leaves and reveals to him that she let his childhood dog out one day and it never came back. Now she got him a new one out of guilt. Justin keeps the dragon, who he names Dragon. The kids tell their parents they found a dog in the street and took it in. But Jerry and Teresa make them put up found dog flyers around town to locate Dragon's original owner, which Alex agrees to since he doesn't have an original owner.
Boy, it's so hot out here.
Fly! Fly!
What?
Oh, nothing. Said there's a lot of flies.
Unfortunately, someone does take Dragon when the kids are at school, leaving them sad. Frankie the mob boss kid points them towards a dog show the man took Dragon to.
Guy came out with your dog and bought this. A program for the Hudson Dog Show.
The Hudson Dog Show? When is it?
Why don't you buy a copy and find out? That'll be $8, please.
Okay. It's today. I'd like to return this for a refund.
The kids sneak in, find Dragon, and they realize that the dragon salesman took Dragon back. He's actually a scam artist who sells people dragons and then takes those dragons back over and over. That's what he does with his life. That's so crazy.
Hey, you're a thief. You sold us that dog and then stole it back.
It's the circle of life, children. Look, kid, you played the game and you lost. You know what? You go home and the money you spent on the dog was a lesson well learned. You're welcome.
Alex creates a distraction by turning herself into a lion to scare everyone away, switches out Dragon's kennel, and ultimately manages to get away with him. But they decide to keep him as a pet anyways. And then we never see him again. We also never see the con artist again. He totally could have been a recurring villain. He had the potential.
Here's a roll of quarters. Knock yourself out.
With what?
The quarters.
The next episode, Movies, introduces the most powerful spell of the whole show. Improv spells. The ability to create literally whatever spell you want.
This is the ability to create a brand new spell off the top of one's head in the moment of urgent need. For example, Max, what do you urgently need right now?
Bagpipes.
We see later in the episode that it only works if it rhymes. The whole notion of improv spells is never mentioned again, but theoretically, any spell the characters use later in the show could be an improv spell. We really don't know. But if any spell can be made up on a whim, what's the point of having officially established ones? What's the point of learning spells at all? Later in the season, there's a spell that lets you completely freeze time for as long as you can hop on one leg. Spoiler alert, but couldn't you just improv a variation where you don't have to hop on one leg? Or do the improv spells only work if there isn't already a pre-existing spell that does whatever yours does? Because if so, who keeps track of all this? How do you make a spell formal and official? What if Wizard A makes a formal spell for like toasting bread without a toaster, and then some other wizard tries to improvise that? Would it not work? Would no wizard anywhere have means of toasting toast toasterlessly if Wizard A never reveals the proper official toasterless toast toasting spell? Across the 4 seasons, this show has some of the most dissonant lore I have ever seen. More and more, when a new concept gets introduced, it will retroactively break things that have been set up in previous episodes, and by the end of season 4, there will be no consistency anywhere with the rules of this universe. And obviously that's not a problem at all because this show was aimed at children and children aren't gonna notice any of these, therefore won't take issue with them. It's just funny to point out all the ways that the logic breaks itself, and there'll be many more instances. When Alex realizes that Justin's friends are sorta cool, she tries to tag along with him to a scary movie. This girl, Susan, never appears again, but this nerdy guy, Zach Rosenblatt, he's named.
Oh, Zach Rosenblatt.
Remember him because something kinda crazy is gonna happen with him later in this season. Alex offers to bring Max to the movie so they can watch a kid's film, but then she shunts him off with some random other children and we don't see him for the rest of the episode while she goes off to be mischievous.
Well, go crash that birthday party. I'll bet they're giving away the paddle with the ball attached. I do like those.
Alex can't get into the R-rated horror movie Night of the Halloween Sorority Party Disaster 2, so she does an improv spell to teleport herself into the movie. And she goes into the movie, which is shot like an actual movie with a free-floating camera, which I like. Alex just isn't having the horror movie. This isn't for her, this is not her vibe.
Oh, there's that music again. Where's it coming from?
Towards the masked villain is probably the worst way to stay away from the masked villain. Right.
Susan and Zach leave because the movie's way too scary, and they tell Justin that there's a girl who looks just like his sister in it, so he decides to warp himself inside to save her. The two of them have to survive a horror movie together.
Justin, stand up!
Forget about me, Alex! Save yourself!
Seriously, Justin, just stand up.
Okay.
Justin, do something!
Why me?
Because you're the older brother!
What am I supposed to do?
Improvise something!
Wait, okay. We've had enough of all this fear, so hurry up and get us out of here.
He's still coming, hurry!
Don't yell at me. I'm trying to think.
Jerry and Teresa come to the theater to watch a movie, then overhear that Alex and Justin are in said movie.
I know. I've seen that film 16 times. And then all of a sudden there are these new characters in it?
Maybe it's a director's cut. Those characters of Alex and Justin have such chemistry. It's like they grew up together.
The kids manage to teleport themselves out just in time to be grounded.
Oh no, Justin, look! She's coming right for us! Can't get both of us, go!
You know David Henry from That's So Raven as Corey's friend, Larry.
What are you doing? Playing hot potato. Guys, hey, this thing is hot!
Now we're on the set of the all-new Disney Channel original series, Wizards of Waverly Place, to find out what David's been up to.
Pop Me and We Both Go Down is unfortunately an episode I remembered. Justin meets a new girl and is too nervous to ask her on a date. And yes, this is Miranda from First Kiss. This episode was produced first, and clearly takes place chronologically before that one. Jerry teaches the kids about an animation spell which can bring any object to life. We need to talk about this chalkboard here, something really crazy is going on. Back when I was a sophomore in high school in theater class, we had in-class performances at the beginning of the school year. Me and my scene partner were doing the opening scene of Death of a Salesman. I played some old dude named Willie. I think he was schizophrenic or something. He had Alzheimer's. I never gave a shit about it. He has a line that kept confusing me. I definitely will. Is there any cheese? For whatever reason, I don't remember why, I couldn't get that line correct, so I decided to invent a character to help me remember it named Will Cheese. This is him. I drew him as a 16-year-old. I wrote a whole backstory for him. This is literally what's on the whiteboard. And I have no memory of this at all. So did that stick in my subconscious? While drawing Will Cheese, was I somehow inspired by this visual in the background that I hadn't thought about in 10 years and have no conscious memory of ever thinking about? Or is it a cosmic coincidence? When Alex accidentally brings Jerry's high school track trophy to life, he refuses to finish the lesson and teach the unanimation spell until Alex finds the trophy. Justin finally builds the confidence to ask Miranda to the dance, but oh my god, he discovers he has a zit? Teresa's method will take days. With no means of removing the zit in time, Alex tells him the obvious. Just use magic to get rid of it. However, he absolutely refuses to use magic irresponsibly. This was the 3rd episode ever produced, and is probably the most sticklery Justin is about magic in the whole show. Justin in later seasons, hell, even later and earlier in this one, would absolutely use magic to do something as insignificant as removing a zit from his forehead. I'm assuming the writers realize that if Justin refuses to use magic frivolously, he really can't be the driver of any story, he'd just be reduced to a functionally identical role as Jerry. Justin sneaking Alex out to use the carpet, using magic to bail her out, proves to be a way better role for him than refusing to involve himself, and I think the writers figured that out really early, with this episode being the only prominent growing pain.
Justin is reluctant at times to use magic. We're not supposed to use magic unsupervised. He knows if he uses magic in a bad situation, it's gonna play out negatively for him. Afternoon, Alex. Other Alex. You're both clearly up to no good.
Alex attempts to use magic to remove Justin's zit for him, but accidentally uses the animation spell to bring the zit to life.
I'm doing you a favor. Just hold your head still, okay?
Alex, don't. Magic only causes trouble.
Please, I'm working.
No, you got a trophy man running around the house because you got a trophy running around the house.
Muriata
You just stop talking.
Is it gone? Did it work?
Not exactly.
That is crazy.
So now she has to find the trophy and learn the unanimation spell, while Justin goes to prom with Andrew Tate on his forehead.
Hey! You come with a fire extinguisher? Cause you're smoking hot. Hey, baby. Have the cupcake and eat it real slow. And this is a fast one for all the ladies, cause I loves to watch you shake that junk. Can I talk to your boyfriend?
Alex lures the trophy into a duct tape finish line, learns the spell, and rushes to help Justin and unanimate that problem area on his forehead. But unfortunately, the damage has already been done.
A hug? I can get that from Grandma. How about some lip action?
There you go again. You're a pig.
Miranda.
Miraculously, Alex makes things completely work out.
Yeah, why didn't you just tell me you had a big zit? I would have understood. I've got one too.
Oh, man.
Does that explain his behavior? Listen up, boys. As long as you got a zit, women will find all of this behavior completely acceptable and understandable. Don't think otherwise for even a second. So Justin and Miranda are back together, leading into the events of First Kiss, which we already covered, and then we never see or hear from her ever again. So evidently all those reality-breaking time loops occurred for nothing, because she wasn't that important, it seems. We also learn Alex and Justin's grades in this episode. Justin is a sophomore. The reason he was able to get into prom is because Miranda's a junior.
Isn't she that new goth girl in 11th grade?
I'm in the 10th grade. She's an older woman.
And Alex is a freshman.
I'm in 9th grade, you big idiot.
This makes Justin 1 year older than Alex.
Alex Russo is a typical teen. If you think waving wands, casting spells, and creating magical mayhem is typical, Wizards of Waverly plays. Next on Disney Channel.
In Potion Commotion, Jerry teaches his kids about love potions, which are pretty self-explanatory. Not a spell today, fascinating. We also learn that Justin and Alex are on lesson number 372, while Max is on lesson number 5.
Keep working on lesson number 5. And you two, we're on lesson number 372.
Which highlights how unfair the upcoming Family Wizard competition is. Max is like 6 years younger than Justin, but he's still expected to compete against him whenever this competition comes. Think about how TJ from several episodes ago is an only child and won't have a Family Wizard competition. Any wizard parents who have multiple kids are doing so with the full knowledge that their kids are gonna have to compete against each other someday.
I don't want you relying on magic, because you might not have it one day.
Before the kids head to school, Max's magic is going off the charts because his powers are finally coming in. This implies that an onset of magic powers occurs as a part of puberty. Jerry introduces the hat, which will contain Max's puberty powers. Max hates this hat, and the entire school rightly bullies him for it. This is the only scene in season 1 where he's at this school. He immediately leaves after putting the hat back on, so I don't know if he goes here. At school, we're introduced to Mr. Laritate, the quirky principal who informs Justin that he has tough competition for a coveted spot in the United Nations World Summit, in the form of Brad Sherwood. Sherwood is schmoozing Lara Tate, and Justin isn't willing to stand for it. Lara Tate will be visiting Justin's home tonight, and this is his last chance to prove his case as the delegate. There's a slight wrinkle. Alex is suddenly head over heels in love with Brad.
Oh, Brad, you're so funny. If we were going in a group to the concert, everyone would laugh at you. But it's just us two. In the park. On Saturday.
And she thinks he's a charming man and plans to feed him a love potion. In an interesting turn of events, her and Justin aren't on opposite sides here. If he falls in love with Alex, he won't bother with the UN summit. In true Alex fashion though, she accidentally messes up. After a chaotic panic to keep a customer from drinking Brad's half of the potion, she accidentally drinks it.
Ah, that was close. Uh-oh.
So now what? If he didn't drink it, who falls in love with you? I think you fell in love with yourself.
So what? There's a lot about me to love. Oh my gosh! Someone sent me flowers. I wonder who it could be. Me!
Lara Tate comes to meet the family, but it's not looking like Justin will get the position.
You know who rode a pony by himself when he was 9? My brother, Justin.
Brad then shows up, uninvited, to their house and continues schmoozing Mr. Lara Tate.
Check it out. Hey, we're the Bolo Boys.
Alex has to hide her growing head and steals Max's power-quenching hat to contain her problems.
Why is your head getting bigger?
It's not. Maybe you're just standing too close.
This causes Max's powers to go rampant as he inadvertently teleports the house across the world. Right now, they're in the second story of their home. Is this whole room just appearing in these different countries completely intact? Did the second floor of the 3-story Russo home just disappear from its foundations? I'd really like to know. 3 hula dancers get pulled from Hawaii and never return. Justin thinks he blew it, but it turns out Lara Tate is so impressed by the mixture of cultures that he gives Justin the seat on the UN summit.
Oh my gosh! That's great! I won! Lost? I never lose. I even bought this stupid bolo tie. Bolo ties are not stupid. They're the official neckwear of Arizona.
For some reason, that's one of those oddly specific lines I vividly remember. Season 1 and 2 are the episodes I watched reruns of over and over and over for half a decade, so they're the ones I remember the most, even though it's all still very vague. Jerry deflates Alex's head and gives Max his hat back to get everything under control. We never hear about this UN summit again, but I hope Justin had fun.
You know, there's something weird about this, and there's something weird about all you Russos. And I'm gonna find out what it is.
Well, good luck with that, Brad. Goodbye.
Surprise, surprise, he never shows up again.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Where'd all this come from?
Me.
I thought the potion wore off.
It did. What didn't wear off is how good I feel about sending myself flowers.
Jake T. Austin will try just about anything. You saw him dirtboarding and Johnny Capahala back on board.
Yeah! Woohoo!
And running the obstacle course at the Disney Channel Games.
Blue team is taking it all the way.
Now, Jake T. is taking on wizardry. We caught up with him on the set of the all-new Disney Channel series, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Episode 12, Justin's Little Sister. Alex is tired of being told she should be more like Justin, so she uses a genie in a bottle she learned about in wizard training to wish that the comparison would finally stop. But genies are a little tricky. The genie makes everyone on the planet forget Justin's existence entirely. But you gotta wonder, why would Alex rely on a genie for this? She's a wizard. She could just perform a spell for this. Anyways.
Sorry, dude. Good luck with whatever.
I don't have any friends. My teacher doesn't remember me. What did you do?
Why? Just because something completely out of the ordinary happens doesn't mean I automatically had something to do with it.
Did you have something to do with it?
Yes.
So no one at school remembers Justin, nor do Jerry and Teresa. Harper finds this new kid cute and immediately becomes obsessed with him. Alex uses 2 wishes in a failed attempt to bring Justin back, and the end result is that he becomes invisible. Finally, she has to confess to her parents that this invisible naked boy in their living room is actually their forgotten son.
But you're never gonna believe me.
Of course we'll believe you.
Justin is my brother and your oldest son.
I don't believe you.
Jerry has no clue how to reverse the effect of a genie's trickery, but Max has the idea to fill the genie's bottle with orange soda. This ultimately annoys the genie into reversing the wishes and begging the family to leave, fully reversing their situation. I'm sure Alex will never use magic irresponsibly ever again. Now we've arrived at the Wizard School two-parter.
Dear Justin and Alex Russo, you have been accepted to attend summer boarding school at Wiz Tech.
The Russo's wizardry education continues.
When you apply yourself, you can achieve a lot more than you think.
But their learning is just beginning.
I'm Dr. Evelini. You will both be in my class.
On April 6th, Disney Channel presents a spellbinding adventure.
This door's locked too?
Yes, I am. Where new powers are uncovered.
From your chin to your toes, an elephant trunk grows.
Forcing wizards to compete.
I am up to the challenge.
And Justin and Alex battle dark magic.
I need to know who's the most powerful young wizard. Squiddy Pality, no quickie!
Justin's gonna get his power string.
Wizards of Waverly Place. An all-new one-hour special event. Sunday, April 6th at 8/7 Central. Only on Disney Channel.
Justin gets accepted to an elite wizard school, Wiz Tech, for the summer, and he and Alex are extremely excited to have a summer spent apart. However, things go awry when Alex uses magic to clean the living room, and it's a bit too thorough.
Hide! Oh, never mind.
Boy, I really love this turkey jerky. Sure makes me thirsty, though. Teresa, why can't I open the fridge?
'Cause it's not there?
What did you do?
Jerry and Teresa deem that she has to go to Wiz Tech for the summer as well, so it is simultaneously a prestigious school you have to apply for months in advance, and a boarding school parents can send their kids to on the spot. It's apparently a completely optional, supplementary thing to traditional wizard training from the parents. What I don't think I realized as a kid is that Wiz Tech is just a full-blown spoof of Harry Potter. Every little plot point, every aspect of this, down to the students having Hogwarts robes and Harry Potter glasses, is just poking fun of the predominant wizarding franchise in pop culture at the time.
You remind me of someone. Is it Terry something, Barry something, Larry something? Oh, never mind.
Justin is naturally an extremely powerful wizard who gets singled out by Professor Evelini as a potentially excellent player at 12 ball. He formally joins the 12 ball tournament, with his main competitor being
Jerko Phoenix. Jerko?
And here is fellow student Hugh Normus, a regular wizard who thinks he's a giant, and therefore carries tiny objects with him everywhere.
Wait up, Alex!
Get used to this one joke because you will hear it repeatedly every time Hugh shows up across 4 seasons of television.
I'm Hugh. Hugh Normus.
Not really.
His actor's name is Josh. In the Little Bee story, Teresa questions Jerry and Max's manhood and challenges them to sleep out on the terrace for a night.
You there on the terrace, are you locked out?
No!
Has your manhood been called into question?
Yes!
Hang in there, guys.
Alex is constantly screwing up and getting punished.
She wasn't kidding. There really is a discipline bucket.
But she accidentally overhears a message from Professor Evelini's messenger fish about her true intentions.
After the 12-ball tournament reveals the best young wizard, I will drain that wizard's powers and take them for myself, making me the most powerful wizard ever!
Justin's gonna get his powers drained.
Dun dun dun!
So not only are there magical species like elves and genies, there are also magical wizard equivalents of regular animals from the mortal world, which have magical abilities. In part 2, Alex rushes to report Professor Evelini to the school's headmaster, Professor Crumbs.
My hands are tied.
You don't believe me either?
No, my hands are really tied. I lost a bet with Evelini. Professor Maloney and I got into a beard contest, of which I had no business being part of.
Crumbs is played by the late Ian Abercrombie, who also played Palpatine in Star Wars The Clone Wars' first 5 seasons until his passing. And then just to deflect any actually comments from Star Wars nerds, yes, I know he played in 3 episodes from season 6, but they were produced to air in the broadcast 5th season and were in the season 5 trailer, then just inexplicably never came out until the Netflix exclusive 6th season. I know that. Don't actually me. I'm aware of that information. Anyways, he was just a comforting older actor in things around this time, and I wanted to respect him for a little bit, until straw man Star Wars fans ruined it! In a B story, a lady dressed as Salad from a salad restaurant is stealing customers from the substation. She's already run several businesses out of business. Max gathers all of the food restaurant owners who have a grudge against her, and then they have a showdown on the street. Pretty cool. Justin doesn't believe Alex about Evelini's true intentions, so she has to travel to Volcano Land on her own to find an authority figure to tell Justin the truth.
They use the volcano to drain wizards of their powers. That's a separate entrance fee.
The monotone woman works at Volcano Land, so this lady, assuming it's the same person every time, knows about wizards. That's great. Alex brings her to WizTech to tell Justin the truth, but it's too late, because Professor Evelini puts a no-quit spell on Justin.
Scrilly Polity, no quitting!
Okay, I don't know what you just did to me, but I still quit.
You can't quit now.
This forces him to compete in the competition.
He's gotta lose! Lose, Justin, lose!
Alex!
He manages to hit the Golden Tattler, something which automatically wins the game regardless of points. However, Alex, in an act of quick thinking, casts the truth spell from Alex's choice on Evelini, a rare instance of the characters remembering a spell that exists. It causes Evelini to publicly state her plan, and then regular-ass security guards pull her away. Alex is celebrated as a hero by Professor Crumbs, and everyone returns home. Truly some amazing writing, and an amazing 2-parter. Something worth noting is that Harper has been absent for 6 of the last 7 episodes. And these were all produced wackily, out of order, so I don't think it's an instance of Jennifer Stone needing a prolonged time off. I think it's just the end result of Harper being difficult to integrate into these stories about magic because she doesn't know magic exists. Which is an issue that gets solved pretty shortly into season 2.
I'm David Henry from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Episode 15, The Supernatural, is an homage to the 1984 baseball movie, The Natural. Transformers came out in 1984, truly Orwellian. Justin comes to Alex ridden with guilt and reveals a dark secret. He used magic to help him make the baseball team, all in an attempt to impress the baseball-obsessed cute girl Carrie Lansdorf. A new love interest already! It's the girl from Jonas! Alex sees no problem with this whatsoever, and she suggests that he take baseball advice from Riley, who's also on the team. Remember from the chocolate episode? He apparently doesn't remember, because he's still flirting with Alex. Justin, meanwhile, has succeeded in catching Carrie's eye.
I love going to the baseball games, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of each other at the baseball games, because you play in the baseball games. I love baseball.
Now we go to an actual baseball stadium. After 162 episodes of the Lab Rats franchise contained inside cramped sound stages, this feels wrong, this feels illegal. I have the weirdest repressed memories of this episode and this location. Justin continues using magic to win, and Alex convinces Riley that she's the team's good luck charm. And that's why they won. Jerry, the coach of the team for some reason, starts to suspect something's wrong and confronts Justin on using magic. He confesses and agrees to use none in the next game. Alex takes advantage of this and doesn't show up to the next game, continuing to compound Riley's belief that she's a good luck charm. Nothing is more hot to a guy than defying statistical probability in his favor.
Alex, where were you today? We got smeared.
Oh, I've been studying.
Now, at the final game of the season, Riley begs Alex to come so that the team will win. Alex decides she'll use magic to prop up Justin's performance, something which confuses Jerry.
Tom Noon and Kinesis.
Time up! Time! Justin, you're calling time out to talk to a guy sitting on the bench?
There's no rule against it.
They figure out what's happening, and Jerry orders Justin to counteract Alex's magic.
Tom Noon and Kinesis.
Tom Noon and Kinesis.
Tom Noon and Kinesis.
Time out, Up. Time out.
Time!
Alex, get over here.
You're calling time out to talk to a fan?
Show me the rule, Up. Show me the rule.
With Alex and Justin actively competing against each other magically, the ball flies rapidly in conflicting directions, and the entire crowd begins to question their own reality. To prevent a catastrophe, Jerry pulls out an emergency spell that can wipe everyone's memory of the previous several minutes, which he has Justin perform.
It will erase everyone's memory so they won't remember what happened the past few minutes.
Cerebellum erasis.
What just happened?
Hey, this could come in handy someday.
They never, ever used the spell again. The overpowered ability to wipe an entire crowd's memory is forgotten to the sands of time as the show moves on. Max also taunts the dad of a rival team throughout the episode and gets chased out by security. No one quite recalls how the game ended, but Casey's in love with Alex and Carrie's very in love with Justin. It quickly becomes clear to him that she is a very, very odd lady, and he cuts ties with her, casting her into the realm of discarded love interests. Also, somehow, Jerry remembers Alex was a naughty little girl and punishes her for using magic. So if he wound up remembering the game, theoretically anyone in the audience could have as well. Anyway, very good, charming episode. The whole first season is just very fun. Alex in the Middle is another episode I remember well. The kids are enduring a wizard lesson, boring, then Jerry's fun-loving brother Kelbo shows up in a bathtub with gifts. Uncle Kelbo is a full wizard, the evident winner of the family wizard competition, and he uses magic to have the time of his life. The kids have fun with Uncle Kelbo, which stresses Jerry out. They aren't focusing on their training. Kelbo brings Alex to a secret wizard box at a basketball game, which is hidden behind the scoreboard.
Over yours. We're trying to get that removed.
This is another instance of Wizard World infrastructure overlapping with the mortal world, like the stoplight in episode 6. How does a designated secret wizard space even get into a stadium? Is the designer of the building a secret wizard? Do the wizards just install it after the stadium's built? And if that's the case, do they have to pay to get in? Are they committing a crime? Lots of questions. When Jerry gets upset at Alex for missing her lessons, she declares that Kelbo is going to be her teacher now instead.
He said that he could be my wizard trainer instead of you.
He did?
I did?
You did.
Hold on. I did!
The next day, Alex trains with Kelbo, but he's too irresponsible and distracted to teach anything. He decides to open the wizard mail, which inadvertently floods the entire lair and turns them into sea chimps. Jerry has to suit up and come to the rescue, advising Alex on how to fix the situation.
Alex, repeat after me. I'm a big knucklehead.
I'm a big knucklehead. Wait a second, that's not a spell.
No, I know, I just wanted to hear you admit it.
Finally safe, Alex apologizes to her dad and Kelbo agrees that being a teacher is just too much for him. Especially after he lost the family wizard competition himself. What? Yeah, that's right, we get a lore drop.
When Kelbo and your father competed to see who'd keep their wizard powers, it was your dad who won the contest.
What?
But wizards can't marry non-wizards, so your dad gave Kelbo his powers so that he can marry me.
I think that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Give your powers up for a girl?
Yeah, right.
Yet again, an amazing character-based revelation that shows the writers are trying to make a show with an incredibly rich cast of characters, even if every episode has 2 or 3 my darn wife jokes from Jerry.
You know, when I was your age, I tried using magic to impress a girl. Turned into a total disaster.
What happened?
I married her. Just kidding. Seriously, I'm just kidding. Don't even say I said that, even as a joke.
There's a little runner where Alex has been leaving daily love letters in Justin's locker to make him think he has a secret admirer. When he decides to shake out his locker, she pays the school lunch lady to sneak a note inside. This leads to him writing the lunch lady a love letter. Naturally, this doesn't go over well.
You don't shower after gym, 'cause you don't sweat, 'cause you walk the mile. Hey, Coach, what are you doing? Writing love letters to my girlfriend, the lunch lady.
That's Bob Duncan. 10 out of 10 would watch again. Episode 17, Report Card. During wizard training, Alex is struggling to complete a transmogrification spell.
Oh, it's a pretty dove.
Professor Crumbs arrives to collect grades, and when the report cards finally come back, Alex has an F. Jerry and Teresa have to sign the report cards before sending them back, so Alex decides to hide it from her parents in order to prevent them from signing it. Unfortunately, the report card is impervious to destruction and keeps rematerializing.
What'd you say, Alex?
Oh, that's nothing.
When Mom and Dad realize what she's up to, she freaks out and turns them into guinea pigs.
I panicked. I had to buy myself more time.
To do what?
To panic.
That report card's played by Charlie Adler, the voice of Michael Bay Starscream and possibly other things. Max spends his entire savings on a giant exercise ball, and Justin has his nerd friends come over to watch volcano videos.
The high def made it seem like the volcano was right in your living room.
Oh, which, geologically speaking, would be a statistical improbability along the lines of there being a snowstorm in the Sahara Desert.
Oh, you got me. Good nerd burn.
That's literally the funniest thing I've seen in my life. Look, here's Zach Rosenblatt from Movies. Except he isn't named Zach Rosenblatt anymore. He's now Zeke Beakerman. They cast the same actor to play a new character who plays the exact same role as the previous character. If you look at the credits, he's listed as Friend both times, just referred to by a different name within both episodes. I feel like the writers were envisioning a new actor while the casting department didn't bother reading the scripts thoroughly and just called back the actor who played Friend the last time. Or maybe it is the same character in universe and he just changed names. In that case, I'm sorry for dead naming him earlier. Justin and his friends watch Max race the guinea pigs. But gasp! Gadzooks, shucks, they escape and they run amok. So they buy 2 new guinea pigs from the pet store to secretly replace the old ones in the hopes Alex won't notice. Alex does notice. To make matters worse, she's caught by Professor Crumbs.
I need to speak to your parents straight away.
I hope that's British for much, much later.
Realizing her lie, he drains her powers.
You haven't acted with any responsibility. Say goodbye to your magical ability.
No!
Now they have to find their parents. They decide to morph the new guinea pigs into humans to ask them where they'd hide if they were guinea pigs. Which they are, they're guinea pigs. They eagerly suggest under the bed. The mom and dad guinea pigs are found under Max's bed in his gross-ass bedroom, which means that somehow they climbed the spiral staircase by themselves.
These guinea pigs are now not. Mom and Dad should fill their slot.
As Justin turns them back into his parents, Professor Crumbs arrives, and Alex has to confess what she did. As he prepares to make Alex's power loss permanent, Justin suddenly panics and turns Professor Crumbs into a guinea pig. Justin steps in and insists that he needs Alex because cleaning up after her makes him a better wizard. After becoming a human again, Crumbs is so blown away by their sibling bond. He sees that Alex learned her lesson and will surely never use magic irresponsibly again, and he restores her powers once and for all.
I am here. What am I standing on?
It's Marshmallow Surprise. The surprise is asparagus.
Now I want to take a moment to thank my Patreon supporters. Thank you, Patreon supporters.
My favorite place on the wizard set is the lair. This is literally where the magic happens. Here is where we study and we take some notes here on spells and stuff.
In Credit Check, Jerry teaches the kids about the ability to completely freeze time for as long as you can hop on one leg, a spell invented by a one-legged wizard. This raises questions. The fact that this wizard is one-legged seems to imply wizards can't regrow limbs, because I'm assuming if he could, he would choose to not be a one-legged wizard. Did this guy make a conscious decision to make the spell only work while hopping on one leg, or did his physical handicap somehow limit the functionality of the spell he produced? A lot to think about here. During a family meeting at the substation, Alex isn't given respect or recognition for her ideas. When a businessman eating lunch recognizes Alex's keen eye for fashion, he invites her to work as an intern at the office of a renowned fashion magazine.
Fashion Fatale? I read those for free at the newsstand until the guy chases me away.
At her new job, Alex has fashionable suggestions and quickly proves her worth as a fashion designer. When Miss Angela comes to review the new clothing, the dastardly Jeffrey takes full credit for Alex's work, once again robbing her of recognition. In an act of revenge, she decides to produce a runway show fully designed by Harper, a style Miss Angela is absolutely repulsed by, appalled. She spends all day creating the most repugnant fashion show of all time, only for Jeffrey to have a change of heart and give her credit.
Now, something that was Alex Russo's idea.
Wait, no!
Now she has to freeze time and hop on one leg in a fruitless, last-ditch rush to somehow salvage the outfits of the models. This woman's moving her hand, LOL, we caught her, LOL. It's a disaster, but Alex ultimately decides to roast the toxic work environment of the office, praise Harper, and quit in an amazing Alex fashion. Meanwhile, Jerry's hired an employee at the substation, a cute older girl named Millie, who Justin's infatuated with. He tries to win her affections, while Max acts as his wingman.
Hey, Millie! Did you know that Justin wears his underwear in the shower?
She's intrigued by the notion of Justin playing with action figures and liking comics and invites him over.
So I was wondering, are you busy Friday night?
Me? Friday? What's up?
Well, I have 2 tickets to Tears of Blood, and I was...
Oh, say no more. I'm in.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So be at my house at 7:30.
He comes ready for a date, only to be promptly humiliated. Just straight up emasculated.
My boyfriend says that I wear too much sometimes.
Boy who?
Thank you so much for babysitting. Benji, come meet Justin.
Oh. Hi, Benji. Hi, boyfriend. We'll be here.
I'm gonna guess that Millie got fired or something because we never see her again.
Next, being a teen's tricky enough. Try hiding the fact that you're a wizard. Wizards of Waverly Place, here on Disney Channel.
Alex's spring fling picks up with Alex dating Riley. Riley keeps looking at other girls and is like that one meme but for real. Then he has the gall to say he's tired of her constant jealousy and actually breaks up with her right here and now on the spot. Alex is sad, and then Dallas Lovato of all people, Demi Lovato's older sister, comes up to say a goofy silly line.
Hey Alex, I heard that you and Riley broke up. What do you say you and I go out?
Excuse me, Ken? Hi. We're going out. Like, right now.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk with you about that. This'll only take a second.
Alex is no angel either. She decides to make Riley jealous in an attempt to win him back, because him looking at other women while they walk isn't a turnoff for her. She uses the animation spell from the Zit episode to bring a mannequin to life, names him Manny, and goes on countless dates with him, directly in front of Riley. Riley's so jealous that he asks for Alex back, and Alex promptly agrees and then dispatches Manny. There's an issue though. Manny's fallen in love with her. Very much so. And despite this episode taking place over a shorter span of time than the Zit episode, he has been animated for so long that Alex is no longer able to unanimate him. Justin has been preparing to resell an extremely expensive Calico Woman action figure, and someone's just bought it. Unfortunately for that buyer, Alex brings Calico Woman to life to pair him with Manny. But Manny doesn't want to be with Calico Woman, he still wants Alex. Riley then chases after Manny, Alex chases after Riley, Calico Woman chases after Manny, Justin races after Calico Woman, and after knocking a clown off of his bicycle for no reason, that clown races after Justin. Now it's time for a climactic chase where the show pretends that this limited strip of storefronts is larger than it actually is. Manny climbs onto a dunk tank, apparently as a means of escaping Riley.
I'm gonna teach Manny that no one comes between me and my girl.
I know you don't like jealousy on me, but on you it is so hot.
He plunges into the water and abruptly becomes a mannequin again.
Oh no, what happened to Manny?
Looks like he got wet. You know, sometimes water can make a spell wear off.
Huh? Apparently water makes spells wear off? So if they'd just thrown water on Justin's zit, it would have gone away, huh? I want you to think about every instance in all upcoming episodes where Alex doesn't know how to undo a spell, and just think about how she could throw water on it, okay? Because she does not do that ever. Alex convinces the entire crowd that Manly was simply a magician. Calico Woman says she never liked Justin, she runs away and escapes, and then Justin pushes the clown off his bicycle again to pursue her. Alex has managed to win back her boyfriend Riley, their relationship reinforced, and we'll never see him again. Also, due to the fact that the two of them barely appear in season 1, this episode has the first time Max and Harper interact at all, and the only time this season. Episode 20, Quinceañera, is basically reverse Freaky Friday. Alex is about to turn 15, but she doesn't want the quinceañera Teresa's throwing for her. Also, apparently she only finds out that the party's happening the day before the party, because of the semantics of how this episode needs to work. When Alex's grandma comes and tells her Teresa never got to have a quinceañera as a girl, Alex realizes her mom's trying to live vicariously through her. So at the party the next day, she performs a spell to switch places with her mom, and lets her mom have fun in her body.
Mom, I know you're mad, but just hear me out. This is the only way you can enjoy the quinceañera you've always wanted.
It's quinceañera. Oh my gosh! I love this dress! I'm so pink and fluffy! I'm 15 again!
There's really no trouble or chaos. It's an interesting twist of the typical formula where Teresa is hiding magic from Jerry rather than the other way around. In the B plot, Justin and Max have to do a salsa dance with Alex, but aren't able to learn the dance moves in time, so they switch places with professional dancers, who don't question the fact that they're in bodies of children all of a sudden, casually dance, and then switch back. I'm glad this episode exists, because having a mixed Latino family lets children of other ethnicities learn about different cultures in a way that couldn't happen if the show was just white people.
Being part of a show in English about an American family where the mother is of Mexican heritage and the father is of Italian heritage, where they're American first and foremost, and then colored with their ethnic background, was fun. And it comes up, you know, Teresa having to teach Alex Spanish because she doesn't know enough Spanish, and feeling like, well, I'm a proud Latina, I need to know how to make tortillas. You know, it was dealt with humor, and it was fun, and it was very satisfying for me, because as a person, that's what I am. I'm an American who loves being an American, and I also love my Cuban heritage.
I learned what salsa dancing is from this episode, and naturally I learned when the quinceañera is from this episode. I remember being so jealous as a kid of the fact that Latino women get this special holiday that no one else gets to have. Where was my quinceañera? To 7-year-old Kian, this was unfair, and truly confirmed to me that white men are an oppressed minority unlike any other. The script's smart enough to have some sort of stakes, of course. If the body switching spell isn't reversed by midnight, Alex and Teresa will be stuck in each other's bodies forever. There's some brief fake tension as Grandma reads Alex a letter Teresa's father wrote for her.
Always, Oops.
But Max manages to distract her and the episode resolves itself, culminating in a sweet, jokeless father-daughter dance. Because this show cares about its characters and their connection to each other, unlike any other show I've talked about up until this point.
Hi, I'm Jake T. Austin from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
And speaking of firsts, for the first time during my sitcom retrospectives, the season 1 finale is just a casual episode, nothing unusual.
Yo! Happy Go Trashy, come back here! Don't you see me sweeping? What would your mother say if she saw you do that, huh?
Mama would be mad.
That's right, Mama would be mad, and so am I. Now pick that up. And that cup, too. Okay, thank you for eating at Waverly Substation. Come again.
In art museum piece, Alex decides to bring some historical paintings to life to help her cheat on an art history test, such as the Mona Lisa, the Blue Boy, Vincent van Gogh, and... However, she can't put them back in their paintings without knowing the exact dates and times they originally came from, which ironically forces her to actually learn what she brought them out to help her cheat with. They have to avoid the security guard while Justin comes to the rescue. Justin returns everyone to their frames except for the Mona Lisa, who refuses to leave. That's when Harper shows up. Throughout the episode, Harper's been trying to sell some of her artistic, wearable things, and it hasn't been going well.
Yeah, I'll take it all. That'd be great. Hey, Ralph! Bring the truck! We got a load of trash over here!
What? No, this isn't trash. It's fine jewelry.
Really? Hey, Ralph! Did you know we've been driving around in a jewelry store?
So Alex, sharp on her feet as ever, decides to give the Mona Lisa Harper's necklace so that she finally has something to smile about.
You put a $35 necklace on a $40 million painting.
Well, now it's worth $40 million and $35.
The B-plot's a lot smaller. Teresa's mad at Jerry and Max for throwing a football around the house and knocking things over.
How many times have I said no throwing the ball inside the house, guys?
How many lamps have we broken?
3.
At least 3 times.
So they decide to charm the football with the ability to travel through objects. It accidentally gets thrown through the roof and into soup Teresa was making. For some reason, it doesn't phase back through the soup pot. It just dissolves in the soup entirely, of course, across 30 seconds. And when they eat it, it inadvertently transfers its magical properties into them.
Jerry?
We can explain.
You know, this is kind of fun.
So you're not mad?
Well, not like I want to yell at you way, and like I want to chase you kind of way.
Run!
Allowing them to have fun traveling through objects. And that's season 1.
Okay, kids, watch this.
Selena Gomez. Say hi to everybody.
Hey guys! If you're watching this, you're probably at one of our tapings, and we really think that's awesome, so thank you for coming.
She's awesome. I told you I knew her. I told you. You rock, girl. You rock. Get the heck out of here. Yeah, work to do. Come on. That was awesome.
Per usual, after season 1, let's take a brief hiatus to talk about the sets. Something I began to notice during my rewatches of the other shows, Lab Rats especially, is the sense of claustrophobia that comes from the characters only having 3 rooms they can be in. Season 1 and 2 of that show only had lab, school, living room, and about halfway through season 1, I genuinely felt trapped because these rooms are so small and these are the only places we see our characters. Wizards manages to avoid that pitfall for a lot longer, basically from the substation alone. First, I'll cover the basic school hallway at Tribeca Prep. It's a general backwards L configuration. Lockers down here, lockers up here, and some sort of office room in here that we don't get to go in. There's also a little classroom in the first season, which in season 2 gets converted to Principal Laritate's office. I'm pretty sure it also gets used for every single classroom we see in the show. In the second season, the little office is actually expanded into a hub that goes into Principal Laritate's office. So the overall floor plan looks like this, or something like this.
See you guys. I'm out.
The substation's a cool set. We have the outside area, which is a shopping plaza full of stores and buildings. We enter the substation, which has a spiral staircase upstage right, and an upstairs great room with a corresponding staircase and hallway off to the right, and an exterior terrace. The bedrooms are consistently stated to be up the spiral staircase on a mostly unseen 3rd floor. Alex's bedroom from one episode of season 1 becomes a recurring location in season 2, but doesn't appear past that. We never see what's down this hallway. Jerry mentions at one point there are bookshelves over there.
Not too close to the shelves. We need those books so we don't look like we watch too much TV.
Back down to the restaurant, there's a subway car themed room, stage left, and the kitchen to the left, which contains the door to the wizard lair. So this house only had 4 rooms, but a lot of very distinct areas within these rooms. The location variety keeps things fresh, although the feeling of being trapped did sort of settle in late season 2 for me. Okay, the substation has a lot of weird quirks I'd like to figure out the logistics of. First off, there's a second stretch of the shopping plaza with additional buildings and without steps. We see the characters access it by rounding corners, but it's never the same corners because the show tries to pretend it's a larger area than it actually is. I was trying to see if it's connected, maybe it physically wraps around the set somehow. I don't think it is, and here's why. We never see a direct connection, and with the amount of times it appears, I feel like it'd be hard to keep it hidden. Also, it never appears past season 1, meaning it was most likely demolished to make room for other areas. Next, behind the magic vault, we always see some wall decorations that seem to correspond to these in the wizard lair, but a lot of times in the show, the lair is charmed to disappear and there's a freezer here. So I initially wondered if the lair set was separate and somewhere else and this little chunk was simply interchangeable with a freezer attachment. But I do think they're one solid set because look, this little square nook is like perfectly freezer sized, and I think that is a module which slides into place when they need to film scenes in the freezer. And after writing that whole paragraph, I discovered this behind the scenes video where it turns out that my assessment was completely correct. It is all one big connected unit with no sign of the extra shopping area. Also, in the lead up to the series premiere, they released behind the scenes videos with David Henry and Selena Gomez. Selena's walking through the living room set and I slowed it down and you can see her traverse to the school set, which is right around the corner apparently. But finally, the whole premise of this Waverly substation makes no sense. The spiral staircases are implied to connect, which makes a lot of sense, but there's a door to the left. This is an apartment complex. So characters enter through this door when they're coming to visit. The apartment complex has a 3-story suite where the bottom floor is a restaurant. And we learn early in season 2 that there's a basement, which is a garage. So how did Jerry and Teresa even work out this arrangement with their landlord? And we do find out in season 4 they're renting. Secondly, in a season 2 episode, Jerry catapults Max up to the terrace. But look at the depth. The staircase is flush against the back wall in the sandwich shop, but there's like 10 feet of extra depth on the second story, including the terrace. Yet, there's no shadow being cast over this outdoor plaza. The terrace basically covers up the whole thing. Max is catapulted up there, but he should have hit his head on the bottom of an outstretched balcony and fallen back down. But that's all. Now, season 2. The series was already a runaway success and quickly prompted a second season to enter production, consisting of 30 episodes which aired between September 12th, 2008 and August 21st, 2009. For the most part, it's more of the same, but I would say there are a handful of key differences. First, Max is noticeably older right off the bat. He consistently goes to school with his older siblings, and he has a far larger role in every story than he did in season 1. He never commands an A plot, but he's occasionally commanding the B plot now. His runners are longer and have more scenes. While he'll never come close to Alex and Justin, he's gaining agency and screen time, and appears about as much as Jerry and Teresa this season. They've also given up on his catchphrase of, "Aw, that's bunk."
That's bunk, I can't do it. That's bunk! Oh god, this is bunk!
Secondly, Harper finds out about the wizard world early in this season, which results in her appearing a lot more frequently without having to be written out of episodes to accommodate wizardry. This season finally has 3 frequently recurring characters. Zeke, played by Dan Benson, Mr. Laritate, played by Bill Chott, and Alex's next love interest, Dean Moriarty, played by Daniel Simones. They each appear in roughly almost 1/3 of the episodes. Finally, this season is obsessed with romance. 17 out of the 30 episodes are about some new crush of the week for the kids, although some of the partners last a bit longer than others. Max goes on a date this season, although the other 16 follow Alex and Justin. Let's begin. We pick up with Smarty Pants. Jerry's gone on vacation, so Teresa teaches the wizard lesson.
I'm in the wizard's lair.
Or as I like to call it, the garage sale that never happened.
She promptly quits and tells Justin to do it, which he swiftly does. It seems he's already learned this stuff at some point, which really reinforces to me that the Family Wizard competition is absolutely not fair. Today's lesson is about magical clothing, such as the speed shirt, which defies Chekhov's gun by not appearing again past this scene.
Now, watch how fast I can run into the sub shop, make a sandwich, and come back. Done.
Want to see me run to that mountain and back? You want to see me do it again?
And, more relevantly, the Smarty Pants, which conforms to Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun dominates Smarty Pants. Chekhov's gun is the top, the Smarty Pants are the bottom. They give their wearer infinite knowledge on any subject. And I've got to ask, if these exist, why does the wizard world keep pocket elves enslaved? These magic garments don't seem to be rare. There's no need to have knowledge indentured servants, but they do. At school, a cute boy named Dean catches Alex's attention.
What's up, Russo? Yeah, what's up, Russo? She's cool. She's cool? Oh, she's cool.
Lara Tate signs them up to help set up for the quiz bowl, and Alex decides to help as well to spend time with him. Harper and Justin are on competing teams, and Harper's eager to prove herself as an intellectual powerhouse on top of a glamour girl. When Alex is distracted by Dean, she accidentally crosses two wires, and an electrical buzzer accident causes one of Harper's teammates to forfeit due to an injury. Harper's upset at her best friend for ruining her team's chances, and Alex decides she'll help Harper out by filling that girl's role. She uses the Smarty Pants and involuntarily answers every question correctly, robbing Harper of any spotlight at all and increasing tensions again.
Wrong showing in round one, Team Maroon. Or should I say, Team Maruso?
Lara Tate becomes a larger player this season, and the writers have decided that he's obsessed with cowboys and mostly speaks in Western slang, a characterization that remains in place for the duration of the series.
Sheriff's in town. That was a lasso toss in the dark. Looks like this isn't your first rodeo, buckaroo. Step away from the watering hole.
Max suddenly has this best friend named Alfred. Pay attention to him because he'll be a frequent recurring face for the duration of the series. Max and Alfred notice that everyone in the school loves one particular drinking fountain and complain about its long line.
Now that is some fine H2O.
So they seize the opportunity and begin bottling the water to sell it.
Hey, you guys are waiting in line to buy this fountain water because you don't want to wait in line at the fountain? Meanwhile, there's no line at the fountain.
Hey, there's no line here now.
Hey guys, when we're done with these, we can use our empties to fill up at the fountain for free.
We just lost our business. What are we gonna do? We gotta come up with something.
Panic in one. It's never not worked.
Teresa suggests that simply reselling the water isn't enough. He has to add something to it to truly make it valuable. So Max amends his business strategy.
Here's your water, and Alfred! Here's your puppy.
In the end, Alex decides to humiliate herself by removing the pants so that Harper will get the praise.
She's taking her pants off. Should we look? No.
It turns out the skeleton legs is a side effect of wearing the Smarty Pants for too long, and this happens. The entire school mistakes these for skeleton tights, and everything's fine, proving that every time magic actually visibly happens in this universe, the world's too stupid to believe it. We also find out in this episode that Max is in the 7th grade.
Hey, I'm Selena Gomez from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Next, Beware Wolf. Justin prepares for a date with a girl he met on WizFace, which Alex helps him prepare for.
Take it easy, I'm a mouth breather.
Throughout my life, I've done that to some of my friends with their hoodies, and it just clicked with me while editing. I got it from this episode! She insists you can't trust people you meet on dating apps. They always hide things. And Justin should know this after his WizTech prom date was a centaur. This time though, Justin is fully confident it'll work out. When Isabella arrives, she's a perfectly ordinary girl who hits it off with Justin. But Alex immediately starts to suspect something's off.
Now that was fun. Really? Because my word was awkward.
The episode carries on. Family members reiterate to Justin that he cannot trust someone he met on a dating app, once again citing the centaur.
She ate all the carrots in the sub shop. Our coleslaw was flavorless for a week.
She totally just heard everything we said.
Alex continues to interrogate Isabella and eventually comes to the conclusion that she's a dog. She exhibits countless dog-like behaviors over the course of the day, and Alex is finally able to convince Justin of this reality as well.
Did you leave out one piece of crucial information on your WizFace page? Like the fact that you're a dog?
So Alex is completely repulsed by the idea of her brother dating a dog. Please, please, please keep that in mind during season 3 and 4, okay? Okay. Finally, Isabella reveals the truth.
No.
See?
I'm a werewolf.
Today I found out my girlfriend's a werewolf.
Yay! How many other guys can say that?
Well, none. Because I'm guessing anybody else who could say that has been eaten.
That's a stereotype. We're actually very loving.
I sense that about you.
Oh, Justin, come on. Oh, Justin, there is one more thing that you should know about me.
Yes, my love?
When you kiss a werewolf, you turn into a werewolf.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so painful!
That's another stereotype. The change is pretty fast and painless.
Really?
Now werewolves, Justin and Isabella run away together. Max, meanwhile, has had a little running gag where he and Alfred walk dogs to raise money to buy a cup on a chain, to combat the relatable situation of someone offering you a beverage and you not having a cup to put it in. Alex is overjoyed by her brother's disappearance. Then Max shows up and suggests that he and her compete to see who can fill their cup with spit first. And Alex immediately realizes she needs Justin back.
Where are you going? To tell Dad that Justin's a werewolf and I need him back right away.
And that's pretty much the ebb and flow of Max runners for the duration of the series. Max does some weird activity, it barely pays off, if at all. Sometimes it's close to being funny. Also, remember when I said Alfred would be a frequent recurring face for the duration of the series? Pay attention to him because he'll be a frequent recurring face for the duration of the series. I actually lied. He is never seen again, ever. It's almost comical how he vanishes from the narrative as mysteriously as he entered it 2 episodes ago. Did the writers just forget about him? I'm so curious how this even happened. Out in the wilderness or a public park, Justin mentions he likes werewolf movies, which greatly offends Isabella.
Can't believe you would watch those movies. They're demeaning. I mean, hey, werewolf? I didn't believe Ashton Kutcher for 1 minute. Those shows make us look like animals instead of people with a condition that with the proper diet and exercise can live a normal, healthy life.
She's a Twitter user, I believe. She's acting as though a user of the new application Twitter.com, you could say.
Werewolves don't eat cats. That's a stereotype. Just like how we only change during a full moon, we change every night.
Werewolf racial stereotypes. I don't know why, but the show loves making the vaguest references to real-world situations but never makes any sort of statement on them.
Jerry's Justin's dad. And also my husband. I felt the need to say both because, you know, in these modern times, you just can't assume that. Dad wants me to teach the lesson today while he's away at the No Wizard Left Behind conference.
Isabella's upset that Justin left his love of werewolf movies off his WizTech profile and breaks up with him for hiding something so massive. The family arrives to find Justin, tells him I told you so, and gives him a bath to cure him of being a werewolf. This episode's lesson is unironically, everyone on dating apps is lying. And my initial instinct was to make fun of how simplistic and boomery this is, but upon reevaluation, I do not know of a single person in my life who's found a successful relationship via a dating app, so I'll let it slide without bullying it, because it might be based, I don't know. Graphic Novel is another episode I remember well because of how weird it is. Alex has an enchanted journal, which is her own fairy tale world where Dean is her knight.
Telling you, there has got to be a way to put something on fire in my mouth without it hurting.
It's literally just regular footage that has an aggressive, dare I say, terrible looking iMovie filter slapped right on it. Look, I can do that too. With the click of 2 buttons, I can make any piece of footage look as though it's part of Alex's journal. Did you know that Lab Rats was part of Alex's journal? Did you know that Wizards of Waverly Place the movie was part of Alex's journal? Better Call Saul? The brothers take the journal to laugh at it, but when confronted by Gigi, Max panics and teleports her into the book. I remember being a kid and thinking it had been forever since we'd seen Gigi. In real time, it looks like 11 months had passed since Alex's choice. So yeah, a long time for a kid. They try to hide the book from Alex as they try to figure out how to take Gigi out of the journal without her exposing wizardry to the school. 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 Without her exposing wizardry to the whole school. Alex figures out what's going on and teleports herself into the book to combat Gigi and stop her from learning about her feelings for Dean. They joust on motorcycles, a teddy bear dies, and Gigi eventually sees the knight's face and realizes the truth. Max teleports her out of the book because he's stupid, and the kids have to beam out and try to explain what happened. Luckily, it turns out that Gigi just interpreted this as a really vivid reading experience. She then takes the book and reports to the entire school that Alex has an embarrassing journal. However, Alex takes the wind out of her sails and decides to reveal the secret herself to rob Gigi of the W.
I draw pictures of myself living like a princess in a castle with my Hello Pony blankie, my teddy bear, and a handsome knight who sure looks a little bit like Dean. But it could have been anybody. Oh, no, it could not have. I'll admit it. I like pretending I'm a princess. But I'm also the kind of girl who wouldn't be caught dead at prom. Bottom line, I'm hard to figure out. Deal with it.
I heard this speech, and I could immediately tell that a woman wrote this. I have this sixth sense for whether a man or a woman wrote specific dialogue. Like last month, my friend was showing me a Barbie show on Netflix, which she claimed she was watching ironically, but like, I don't know about that. And there was a prolonged Indiana Jones reference that came out of nowhere, and I was like, a man wrote this episode. She was like, you can't assume that. That's what she sounds like. And then I Googled the episode, and I was 100% right. I'm yet to be incorrect. My gut instincts are more correct than anyone else on the planet. And sure enough, this episode was written by, oh my god! Gigi! Anyways, Gigi remains the queen of the school. Everyone still laughs at Alex. She's still a loser. This is the end of Gigi. She never comes back. And I swear she was in way more episodes than this. It honestly says a lot about how big her presence was that I remembered her being a massive recurring character in spite of her only appearing in 3 episodes. There's a slight happy ending though. Dean approaches Alex and asks to spend time with her, which she happily agrees to. Then they give Harper a stick-on tattoo of a unicorn. Fun times. Season 2, Episode 4 is about racing. It is titled Racing. Alex is desperate to spend some time alone with Dean and find out if he likes her back, due to the fact that his posse surrounds him at all times.
Huh, sounds great.
Hey, Joey's getting a story on this car we might run. Hey, tell it, Joey.
Yeah, tell it, Joey.
This car's not gonna be ready in time, boys.
Oh, man. Oh, bummer, that stinks.
She asks him to fix Jerry's old car that he keeps down in their personalized basement, so they're renting a 4-story apartment with its own garage in one of the most expensive places to live in America. Very cool. Alex still can't get time alone with Dean, as the family consistently comes down to interrupt.
All right. Oh, honey, can you open the garage door so we can get out of here? You wanted to be alone, right?
Max has been buying several defective products from Magic infomercials.
The amazing 3D glasses. Let's put these things on and take a look at what else you fell for, shall we?
Most relevant to this episode being a transport stick that warps its user 6 feet away and knocks out everyone around it. Dean enters Jerry's car in a race. He, a high schooler, drives it, and his posse acts as the pit crew. Alex tries to speak to him during a pit stop, but when he speeds away, she uses the transport stick to teleport herself into the passenger seat, unfortunately knocking him out in the process. She then uses it to switch seats with Dean again, which doesn't even make sense because he switched seats too. She drives the car as he regains consciousness. He doesn't really question what's going on, but he confesses that he does like her, and that's why he agreed to fix her dad's car. Then they crash into a giant sloppy Joe sandwich, which is very romantic. The end.
You wouldn't.
Transport!
Thank you very much.
Alex's brother Maxi Man is the episode that I remember most vividly out of this entire series. With every other episode, I remembered bits and pieces, various lines and moments. For some reason, I recalled every plot point and twist of this one. The kids are struggling to work together. Alex is busy texting Dean, Justin's building a robot, and Max is absorbed in his comic books, which he likes in this episode only. When Alex and Justin cast a spell for Max to climb up a wall, they become distracted and he falls. He eats his emergency burger, which has been on the top shelf for a long time. Dean tries to get Alex's attention at the substation.
Yo, Russo, how about a root beer?
Oh, no thanks, I'm working.
No, I mean, how about some more root beer?
I'm not thirsty.
She agrees to a date with Dean to the roller rink.
Our first date?
Do you want it to be our first date?
No, first dates are sappy.
But we have to go on a first date sometime.
Not if we call this fun little exchange our first date.
It was fun. I had a great time.
Oh, thanks for walking me home.
Justin and Harper warn Alex that Dean's infamous for kissing girls at the rink. He has his own corner where he takes girls to kiss them, at this skating rink called Dean's Corner. Alex remains in denial that he has any bad intentions. Jerry comes in with the newest newspaper. Terrible news.
I can't believe it. Somebody's been robbing delis in alphabetical order. They're calling him the alphabetical order deli robber.
Notice how he's consistently pulling the newspaper so Max can't see it. The alphabetical order deli robber is stealing cupcakes from all the stores in town, and the substation is next on the list.
What are the cops doing about it?
Nothing. I guess they're too busy with the criminals who are stealing big things like cars and jewels.
Are you kidding me? I haven't used a car or a jewel in years. But I eat a cupcake every morning.
Yeah, that's why your dentist sends me a Christmas gift every year.
Max becomes determined to stop the alphabetical order deli robber and becomes a superhero.
Maxi Man!
I like that instead of just calling the episode Maxi Man, they had to call it Alex's brother Maxi Man, as if to remind the audience that Alex is indeed the protagonist of this series. Jerry teaches Max a new spell to tie someone up with a rope.
And say soap on a rope, soap fell off a rope, rope shot out of my hand, rope tie up that man.
Great, simple. Soap and a rope, soap fell off the rope, rope shot out of my hand, rope tie up that man. Didn't work.
That's because you need two other wizards to help you out. You know what you need to do now, Max?
Yeah. I need to learn a spell that makes two other wizards.
I love how broken the logic is in this series. One wizard can casually stop time. One wizard can casually reverse time. But it takes the full combined strength of 3 wizards to tie someone up with a rope. Max sets out on his own to defeat the alphabetical order deli robber, prompting Justin to abandon his robot and help his brother. At the roller rink, reality sets in and Alex realizes Dean is in fact going to kiss her in his corner. Harper's there, dressed as a chicken. Dean explains that every time he kisses a girl in his designated kissing corner at the roller rink, they always run off and leave to tell their friends, abandoning him. He's just a poor victim. He's hoping Alex won't leave him. And in Dean's designated kissing corner at the roller rink called Dean's Corner, Dean kisses Alex. And then Justin rushes in and tells Alex that Max needs their help at once. Alex is forced to leave Dean right after promising she wouldn't. The alphabetical order deli robber arrives as Alex and Justin cast Max up the wall.
Waverly substation. Ha ha ha! I'm going in.
Then they work together to perform the rope spell and send him to his knees.
Wait a minute. How many people do we know go,
Dad!
Well, this is a Scooby-Doo moment.
Turns out that Jerry staged the entire thing in order to bring his kids together to work as a team. He's very proud of them for sacrificing their time to help Max. What a happy ending. Alex returns to the roller rink and apologizes to Dean, something no girl's apparently ever done. So Dean's telling us that every girl he's kissed in his designated kissing corner at the roller rink called Dean's Corner has run away from him and never come back. Are we sure those girls wanted to be kissed by Dean in his designated kissing corner at the roller rink called Dean's Corner? Zeke's credited in this episode, but he doesn't appear. Why? We also learned that Alex is 15 in this episode.
What am I, 15?
Yeah, Alex, you are 15.
Which tracks with her being a freshman, although the very next episode will upgrade her grade level.
And every Sunday in Wistober, it's an all-new episode of Wizards of Waverly Place.
I feel pretty good about that.
Leading up to the new two-part Wizards event, Saving Wiz Tech.
That's fantastic.
Plus, Zach and Cody make waves as they trade hotel life for the high seas in the new series, The Sweet Life on Deck.
Dude, you're a girl!
During Saving Wiz Tech Part 1, Professor Crumbs interrupts a lesson about shapeshifting, and he requests that Jerry house a handful of displaced Wiz Tech students. The whole school has been filled with plastic balls, the natural repellent of magic, and they lack the funds to have them removed. Plastic is impervious to magic. Jerry agrees, and pretty much the full student body pours in.
That's not a few.
No takesies backsies.
Among them is Hugh Normus,
I barely fit through that door.
and his friend Ronald Longcape Jr., who seems to take a liking to Alex.
I'm Ronald Longcape, Jr.
Okay. I'm Alex Russo, sophomore. I should be a junior, but I don't test well.
She's no longer a freshman, which implies that the show's moving at 1 grade per season. She also indicates she was held back a grade at some point. So unless Justin was held back too, that would mean Alex was born in the same year as Justin and is somehow his twin.
You gotta show up to not test well.
Dean gives Alex a gift, a birdhouse he made in woodshop.
Oh, let me guess. Something you made in woodshop again?
I love how you know me.
These aren't really gifts, they're assignments, just like all the other ones were. It's just, it'd be nice if you gave me something more special.
Damn, Alex, okay. Justin is tasked with fixing the plastic ball situation. He stumbles upon a mysterious man. Just tell me, why didn't the writers bother here?
You must be doing what I'm doing. Trying to figure out what's going on with Wiz Tech and who cursed it.
That's exactly what I am doing.
So, what have you found?
Oh, you got me. You're one smart cookie figuring out that I was the one who infested WizTech with plastic balls. Bummer is my son isn't here. He got sent off with the WizTech students.
Who's your son?
I'm never gonna tell you.
What's your name?
Ronald Longcape, Sr.
Is your son Ronald Longcape Jr.?
Justin's unable to fight him due to the plastic balls. Pay no attention to the fact that Alex brought a mannequin to life earlier. Plastic repels magic, hear me? Justin rushes back to the substation. Ronald Jr. confesses that his dad is evil, but he's not the brightest and isn't a threat. Alex thinks he's nothing to worry about and suggests they go eat somewhere where the waiter staff won't accuse him of being evil. Returning home, Ronald asks Alex when their second date is, a terminology that makes her uncomfortable but intrigues her. She realizes, she has feelings for Ronald? When Dean comes to the substation, Ronald lures him into the kitchen. And then Dean comes to talk to Alex and dumps her?
It's just not working out. I'm breaking up with you. What? Wait, what are you saying?
I can't believe this, Dean.
Well, you should, because... what are we doing?
Dean says he's heard about Ronald, he's betrayed, and he leaves Alex heartbroken. But then, he shapeshifts into Ronald Longcape Jr. In a flashback, Ronald encases Dean in gelatin and takes his place. Justin finds a wizard ball removal service who's willing to clean WizTech in exchange for hosting their advertisements around the campus. They're led by Gibby.
So, are we gonna play on these balls or what?
Well? Then yeah, sure, I guess.
Max has a little running gag where he teaches Professor Crumbs how to pull pranks. In it, we learn that Crumbs is 850 years old.
I'm an 850-year-old wizard. I think I know how to fit in.
It makes you look skinny.
Where's the dressing room?
How does wizard age work? Do wizards live longer? The fact that Teresa and Jerry are referred to as mortals implies that the wizards aren't mortal. Are they immortal? Will the Russo that wins their family wizard competition outlive the others by thousands of years and still look like they're in their 20s while their siblings die at age 90? Alex and Ronald go on a date on the torch of the Statue of Liberty. He thinks she should return to WizTech with him. They could become the power couple of the school. Alex agrees, not knowing of Ronald's true nature. As balls get vacuumed out of the school, Dean remains frozen in place. Somehow no one notices him right here in the open. I need to pause right here. When I was a kid, I have a vivid memory of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone airing on Disney Channel, and every time I've brought that up since, everyone's been like, no, Kian, they would never air Harry Potter on Disney Channel, that's too scary, and so I've just been gaslighted into thinking I was wrong. But while searching for episode bumpers, I found a promo for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on Disney Channel, and I feel so vindicated.
Believe in the magic.
Oculus Reparo.
Believe in your friends.
What if I make a fool of myself? You won't make a fool of yourself.
Believe in yourself.
I can't be a wizard. I'm just Harry.
We can expect great things from you.
Yes!
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Friday at 9/8 Central, part of Wiztober on Disney Channel.
In part 2, WizTech finally opens for business.
My giant hands will never fit in those scissors. I'll have to use my own.
Oh, are you kidding me?
For business wasn't just a figure of speech, there are WizWorld ads everywhere now, popping up one by one. Max goes here now. Ronald's still an immensely evil individual, but Alex doesn't notice.
And you're a very special girl. Very, very special.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you with all this evil thunder.
I said you're special.
Oh, thank you.
The Long Capes conspire to turn Alex evil and open an evil wizard school within WizTech. Senior is in charge of keeping Dean hidden and preventing Alex from finding a wooden card Dean made for her. The sponsorship situation intensifies. Advertising blimps fly around the campus. Hugh drags a massive billboard around in a wagon. Just giant, look at that. Wizard classes are being replaced with classes about WizWorld industries.
Nobody's learning anything except how to buy WizWorld products.
Well, WizWorld products are high quality and affordable. Hi. This professor has been brought to you by WizWorld Industries.
Justin realizes the school has sold its soul, as the entire campus has been converted into an advertisement. This portion of the video is brought to you by HelloFresh. I originally really wanted the ad read right here, but I realized it had to be in the first third of the video, so that was an unfortunate creative artistic sacrifice. Ronald Jr. takes Alex on a date up to the Tower of Evil, where they play the Tetherball of Evil. Justin and Max receive word and rush to stop it, but they're too late. By slapping the tetherball around, Alex has become evil.
3, 2, 1, evil.
Professor Crumbs, we're too late.
I would have been here sooner, but somebody spit on me.
This is the kind of thing they should have done with TJ, man. He so could have been a recurring villain and love interest, but whatever. Instead, we get Ronald Longcape Jr., who declares himself the new supreme ruler of WizTech and fires Professor Crumbs. All is lost. However, Crumbs reveals that the Tetherball of Evil spell can be broken if one of the players is in love with someone else. That's it. Crumbs gives Alex Dean's card, which he found earlier, and Ronald, knowing full well that the spell will be broken if Alex is in love with someone else, still taunts that he kidnapped Dean. Alex realizes she's in love with someone else, and the spell is broken.
The natural power of love! No!
Long Cape Sr. brings Dean up to the tower to eat the gelatin, and he swiftly gets caught as well. Junior tries to escape, but he is not successful. Crumbs gets his beard back, Alex gets her boyfriend back, and we never get any conclusion to the advertisement storyline. We don't see the school again, so I'm choosing to believe that it just remains like this for all time. The end. Now for a game changer. Harper knows.
Sunday, something will happen that changes Waverly Place forever.
Harper thinks I'm a liar, and the only thing I can do is just completely come clean and finally tell her I'm a wizard.
Serious violation of the wizard code.
Harper, there's something I need to tell you.
It's a very special, all-new Wizards of Waverly Place. Harper Knows. Sunday at 8:30, 7:30 Central, part of New in November.
It's Harper's birthday, and she is eager to enter a costume contest as Battle Diva at the PopCon convention, which is in town.
PopCon's in town? Hey, Teresa, PopCon's in town!
Popcorn's in town? Oh,
Popcorn is in town?
popcorn's in town? That doesn't make any sense. Why am I so excited?
Alex has no interest in PopCon and tells Harper she's not gonna go. That is, until Officer Lamp and Goblin arrive and require the Russo family to insist in monitoring PopCon, as the event is infamous for young wizards who use their powers willy-nilly.
You're not getting out of this. It's part of your required wizard training.
Alright, so if you're a wizard, the government can forcibly draft you for a mission at any point. Hugh's back.
Look at this tiny comic book in my hand.
Oh my gosh, you really are a giant.
Alex runs into Harper and has to avoid being seen by her at all costs.
Rogue wizard. Buddy, you're coming with me.
She switched places with the cardboard cutout of Battle Diva and winds up with her dress. When she teleports out of it, she accidentally charms it and gives it all of Battle Diva's superhero powers. Alex is caught by Harper, who can't believe she lied about being here.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you.
You never tell me the truth about anything. Like that one time we were making bottle cap belts in the substation. You said, I'll be back in a minute, and then went to the food storage locker and didn't come out for hours. What, do you have another friend in there?
Harper, please, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too. You ruined my birthday. Thanks a lot.
When Justin and Hugh destroy Harper's current dress, Alex tries to make it up to her by giving her hers, not knowing about its charm. Harper puts it on and starts floating in front of the entire audience. The emergency wizards have to do damage control.
We don't have much time before people start asking questions.
Guys, why is Harper flying around like she has wizard powers?
Less time than I thought.
They use magic to hang Harper from ropes and convince the entire crowd she was on pulleys. Ironically, if they hadn't forced Alex to come to this wouldn't have happened. Harper thanks Alex for setting up the elaborate rope pulley system as a birthday surprise. But at this point, Alex can't keep the secret anymore.
Alex, that's lame. There's no way a stupid magic trick is gonna make me think you're a wizard.
But look at where we are.
She takes Harper into space and reveals, once and for all, she's a wizard.
So you have powers like you can fly and teleport places? Wizards are kind of like superheroes.
Yeah, except we don't do anything for the good of society. Happy birthday!
The family shows Harper the wizard lair. Justin is naturally very hesitant, but Jerry says that if anything goes wrong, they'll just use the memory erase spell on Harper, which means he does apparently remember it exists. This is a wonderful change in direction for the show. If they didn't let Harper in on the secret, I could honestly see the character getting completely phased out as the series paves on. But because of this new direction, Jennifer Stone's only absent from 4 of the remaining 80 episodes.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Stone from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
In Taxi Dance, we learn that Alex was born in the backseat of a cab on the way to the hospital. And Jerry and Teresa have been going out of their way to use that cab ever since. Unfortunately, Cab 804 is being decommissioned. To cheer up her parents, Alex decides to use magic to repair the cab, something Harper's finally allowed to witness. She uses the phrase, "bring this cab back to life," and unfortunately, predictably, the cab becomes sentient and obsessed with following Alex around town everywhere.
Let's celebrate! Carson! Round of wiper fluid for everyone!
Car alarm. Just car alarm.
I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi directed a shot here.
Catch me, Justin!
Per Per usual, Justin comes to assess the situation, and he tells Alex that anytime you bring an inanimate object to life, it develops an attachment to you. That retroactively explains Manny, but contradicts the Zit, which certainly did not become attached to Justin. The cab randomly gains the ability to fly, and Alex tries to convince everyone it's a balloon with a very thin piece of rope. She casts a one-person rope spell to hold it in place, making me really question why the three-person rope spell exists at all. Max, meanwhile, took a gurney that was parked by the back doors of an ambulance with his lights on, meaning he may have a kill count now. He also charms the gurney, which begins following him around.
Don't you know that when you bring an inanimate object to life, it develops an attachment to you?
You are incredible.
After Max takes his gurney to his room, Bert the cab crashes into the Russo family's dining room.
Thank goodness my lamp's okay.
Oh my goodness! A realistic parade balloon broke free!
Alex has to confess what she did, and Teresa says it's okay to let things go sometimes, and they forgive their daughter for her good intentions.
Is that a punishment?
Nope. It's an Alexment. Something that should be a punishment, but is a reward.
You get this sometimes, right?
No.
That Capito 4 was gonna be retired.
I go by Bert.
Next, time to cast a Friday night spell. The Russos are ready. Wizards of Waverly Place is coming up next on Disney Channel.
Season 2, Episode 10, Baby Cupid. When a wizard video game gets out of control, Teresa says she is done with magic. This accidentally triggers a fight between her and Jerry. On the night of their anniversary dinner.
Are you trying to make this my problem? Oh! No idea it was such a big decision for you to marry me. Oh! Let me know how your anniversary dinner turns out. Oh!
To fix the situation, Alex decides to use magic and orders the actual Baby Cupid online, a functional equivalent to the love potions from earlier, except Cupid can't leave until he shoots the target he was hired to shoot. And then Max breaks his arrow.
You have more arrows, right?
I'm a baby. I'm barely allowed to have this one.
Now, Alex has to hide Cupid from Teresa while Max fixes it. When Max finally does, he accidentally shoots Justin as he's in the middle of finally telling Harper he isn't interested.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways I love thee to the depth and breadth. Oh, this will be more romantic with the sweater on.
Justin puts on a sweater made of Harper's hair and runs away with her. When cornered, Alex tells Teresa that Cupid's a baby doll from her marriage and family class. Teresa is just being a bitch today.
I want to meet your marriage and family teacher.
Why?
I have some personal stories to share about what marriage and family life are really like once you get past the pretty pictures in all the bridal magazines.
I fixed it!
Oh, Maxie, I told you don't play with arrows. They're dangerous, honey. Someone could get stuck with this. And then where would we be?
Mom unironically plans to talk to the marriage and family teacher during the upcoming school open house. Zeke insults Justin's hair sweater, and Justin challenges Zeke to a fight to defend his maiden's honor.
Hey, everybody! There's gonna be a fight outside over me!
At this point, Justin's so clingy and obsessed with Harper that she's uncomfortable, and she starts desperately avoiding him until she turns him down, snapping him out of his love trance. And once he fearfully runs away from her, Harper's into him again.
I fixed it!
Oh, Maxie, what did I tell you about playing with arrows?
Oh, sorry.
At open house night, Principal Laritate is also the marriage and family class teacher on top of the history teacher and the principal. Teresa actually comes to talk to him. She wasn't bluffing. She's that unhinged today.
I had some thoughts on marriage and family which you might find interesting. Here's an article about how difficult it can be when two very different people get married and now they're afraid their mother was right.
Max fixes the arrow but doesn't balance it, so when Cupid fires it, it hits some random woman who falls in love with Jerry. Teresa decides to basically fight this woman now.
Black eyes. My eyes aren't black. Keep flirting with my husband and you'll get there.
Sometimes jealousy works better than a love arrow.
You're mine. Don't you forget that.
She's insane in this episode. Jesus, man, what happened? The end. Max also breaks a vase again, which is now a running gag. In Make It Happen, Mr. Stuffleby, the wizard guidance counselor, arrives to talk to the kids about their plan Bs, the jobs they're gonna pursue if they don't become the family wizard.
As you all know, one of you is destined to win the family wizard competition, thus becoming an adult wizard and going on to live a life of incredible excitement and adventure. Two of you, on the other hand, will lose your powers forever, instantly becoming ordinary human beings, completely average and unremarkable in every conceivable way, like your father.
Mr. Stuffleby is played by the great late Fred Willard. He was a very successful actor who, a lot like Ian Abercrombie, acted in children's programming until his final days, even though he financially probably didn't need to. He was just passionate about his craft. He was the president in WALL-E, he was Milo Murphy's grandpa, he played Jack Hinch in Kim Possible, he played Swindle on Transformers Animated Season 2 Episode 8, SUV, The Society of Ultimate Villainy, written by Dean Stefan, in Season 3 Episode 9, Decepticon Air, written by Michael Ryan. The character also had a non-speaking appearance in Season 3 Episode 6, 5 Survivors of Doom, written by Andrew Robinson. As we all know, Justin and Alex both want to be musicians, which Jerry does not approve of. Jerry says his plan B was to open a Subway-themed sandwich restaurant, which he successfully did. It seems none of his kids are eager to continue his legacy.
But who's gonna run the substation? It's the only reason we had you kids!
Jerry says the kids have one chance to put on a concert, and if they don't have a successful venue with a big audience, he will not allow them to follow their dreams, and they'll have to work at the substation. Reminder, they're high school students. Quite tragically, Alex and Justin's constant arguing leads to the band breaking up on the eve of their big performance. Max follows in his siblings' footsteps and also becomes a magician.
We said musician, not magician. Oh.
Alex speaks to Stuffleby, who reveals that Jerry never wanted to open a restaurant. He wanted to be a bull rider. Alex realizes her dad gave up on his dreams, which makes her confident she can't. She and Justin make up.
You remember that one time when I apologized to you?
No, when was that?
Oh my goodness, can we please stop talking about it? You get the point.
When they perform that night, they draw a massive, hyped crowd. It took 32 episodes for the show to remember that its protagonist is Selena Gomez, a professional singer. The creator of the show, Todd J. Greenwald, actually cited this as his least favorite episode because he didn't think this made sense. Disney executives basically forced a Selena Gomez song to work its way into the show, which he never approved of or liked. When Jerry tells the kids how proud he is, Max reveals that the entire crowd was simply an illusion. Alex confronts Jerry about his bull riding dream and says he deserves an opportunity to live it out, and he does.
Mom, what's your dream?
That this is over soon so we can go home.
The Wikipedia says Alex gives Jerry a chance to live out his old dream as a bull rider, but it is so embarrassing that Teresa and the kids unanimously agree never to speak of it again. That's straight up not a thing that happens at all. There's no dialogue that reflects that. They just made that shit up. That's like their headcanon or something. That wasn't in the episode. The next episode, Fairy Tale, is basically just a hyper-condensed Best of Alex Russo compilation. She is terrible in this episode, and I cannot stop laughing.
Why don't you go upstairs and start my homework, and I'll make us some sandwiches.
Oh, thanks, Alex. That's so generous of you.
One Italian sub and a tuna salad on wheat.
Got it. Which table?
Oh, I'll take those.
Oh, that's my girl always helping. Alex is serving sandwiches. Where would we be without our ladies?
It all starts with Justin walking around minding his own business. Lara Tate pulls him aside and says he's not going to write him a letter of recommendation unless he directs a school production of Peter Pan. Shit like this on the Disney Channel is why I was scared of high school going in. Imagine walking around as a non-theater kid and then just getting told by the principal you have to direct a play and you don't even get to choose which one. Within 30 seconds of learning this, Justin makes an announcement over the school intercom.
Tribeca Prep, auditions for Justin Russo production of Peter Pan will be held tomorrow.
Zeke's eager for the role of Peter Pan. Now we pick up with Alex, and Lara Tate tells her she's lacking on extracurricular requirements and needs to join an after-school activity.
No thanks.
Perhaps you'd like me to define the word requirement for you.
No thanks.
Alex decides to get an understudy role in Justin's play so she can fulfill the requirements with zero effort. The next day, Zeke gets cast as Peter Pan on the spot.
The role of Peter Pan goes to Zeke Beakerman.
Harper auditions for Tinkerbell and gets cast on the spot.
The role of Tinkerbell goes to Harper Finkel.
The roles are just announced live on stage in the moment. There's no callback list, there's no cast list. I love the Disney Channel. I refuse to believe that happens in real life. If you have had that experience, you're actually wrong. You're gaslighting yourself into thinking it happened. You should be ashamed of yourself. Alex gets the role of Harper's understudy, and almost immediately, Harper falls off the stage and gets gravely injured, meaning Alex will now have to perform. Justin and Alex are both equally unhappy about this.
Out of my way, I gotta throw myself off the stage.
Make some room! You're in the show, Alex.
There's no other options for Tinkerbell. No other options. No one else could possibly play Tinkerbell. Zeke breaks his neck while clog dancing, and Max becomes a reviewer for the school newspaper. Alex decides to bring Harper to Fairy World and grab a fairy to play the part for her.
There's not enough room to write 27 lines of dialogue on my hand.
While Harper keeps repeatedly falling down on chairs made out of candy, they get an actor fairy named Flutter. Unfortunately, Flutter doesn't want to play a fairy and only wants to play a cop.
Who's this?
Well, it's Harper.
Jerry insists it's Alex's responsibility to play Tinkerbell. It goes roughly as you'd expect.
Peter Pan, do not take your medicine. It has been poisoned.
No! I promised Wendy I'd take it.
Ew, is this diet? Ew.
Oh, would you die already?
Fine.
Zeke proclaims to the audience that only their applause will bring Tinkerbell back to life. No one claps. Not a single person.
Sorry, sweetie.
Suddenly, Flutter emerges and roleplays as a cop on stage. She shrinks down and starts destroying the set, forcing Alex to pull out a fly swatter and destroy her.
We should leave before this is over.
Justin thinks his chances of getting a recommendation letter are over, but Max writes a positive review that praises the artistic ambition of Justin's direction and gives him a happy ending after all.
This Wiztober on Disney Channel, everything is not what it seems.
The Muppets Wizard of Oz is up next. Hey, the gang's here. Cool.
We're gonna need a bigger couch.
The Muppets Wizard of Oz is up next.
In Fashion Week, Alex's irresponsibility and lack of accountability has just gone too far.
Ooh, you better fix that.
When they find themselves unable to use their powers, Jerry explains that there have been rolling blackouts all week.
Someone left the door open at the Wizard power plant. All the dragons got out. It's gonna be a while till they get back.
Okay, that's how that works. If those dragons escaped, something tells me they didn't want to be there. Harper has a new job working for fashion kingpin Mr. Frenchie, and she's been tasked with protecting and storing his one-of-a-kind dress for an upcoming show. For some reason, she trusts Alex to look after it. Alex, predictably, doesn't listen and wears the dress, hosting a fashion runway in her bedroom. When she shoves food onto Justin, he retaliates and ruins the dress. Alex says everything will be fine, and when Mr. Frenchie's venue bails on him, Alex suggests he use the substation as a runway, because I'm guessing they were over their location budget this season. Justin and Zeke nervously and awkwardly flirt with countless models in town, trying to seem as cool as possible. They also reference Iron Man.
I don't know, bro. Robert Downey Jr. is so good in that movie.
He is so good.
But it turns out they're most successful when they're just themselves, as every model wants to play Dungeons and Gargoyles with them.
You don't play Dungeons and Gargoyles.
Oh, just because I'm beautiful means I can't be smart? Or an 11th level cleric?
What?
Unfortunately, Alex serves the models food Jerry told her to throw away, and they all become incredibly sick and unable to strut the runway. When magic returns, Alex uses a magical copy machine to bring fashion model Bibi Rockford to life, and brings a picture of herself wearing the dress to life as well.
Put that dress on. We got a fashion show to save.
No! I like this dress.
Alex, can I talk to you over there for a second? Sure.
The show goes smoothly. Mr. Frenchie is happy, Bibi rocks the dress, and Alex gets to walk the runway with her because she's played by Selena Gomez. You may notice by now that the show's gradually moving away from its rigid structure of the magic mischief doer getting punished by mom and dad at the end of the episode. She crashes her dad's car, the show glosses over the consequences. She ruins Harper's dress, then just uses magic to bail herself out, and that's that. As time goes on, that'll become more and more common, which prevents Alex from learning the same lesson in every episode over and over, but also makes it so she learns no lesson at all. In Helping Hand, wizard lessons are cancelled.
Yes!
Because of chores. Alex is not excited about this.
Oh, good. Recycling's on the list.
Justin spared from his chores when a brand new spell he's working on is going to get officially certified, giving us some insight as to how spells get made. A WizTech correspondent has to physically come on site, approve the spell, and then send back a letter of certification later. Justin's spell is a Helping Hand, a charmed floating hand which will bend to your whim. Alex sees an opportunity to enslave the hand and force it to do all of her chores. It becomes miserable and escapes. After Alex and Harper lure and trap the Helping Hand, Alex physically forces it to do her every chore, literally putting in the work herself to do it. She's only motivated when she's proving something to someone, and in this case, she's proving to the sentient hand that it doesn't have equal rights.
Alex, you alright?
Yeah, my hand just fell asleep.
Superintendent Spellman arrives to certify the spell, and Alex has to sneak the hand back in the box. She's forced to stay and give some oohs and ahs to help her brother out.
Ooh, ah.
Unfortunately, the hand is exhausted and sleeps. Somehow it snores.
I know, why don't I just get it started here?
When Justin pressures it, it physically lashes out and abuses Spellman. Alex takes the hand to talk to it and asks to do it for Justin. It works, the hand agrees to be subservient, and the Wizard Council certifies the spell, making the Helping Hand enslavable by any wizard anywhere in the world. I'm not even sure what the point of spell certification is, seeing as the improv spells from season 1 work just fine, but whatever, happy for Justin, good for him. Max has a running gag where he tries to invent things too, and everything's kinda pointless.
How about a spell to make clear plastic that's sticky on one side and it helps wizards put drawings on the refrigerator?
Tape.
This is even better than mine.
This is just Max now. He pops in to say mostly unfunny random bullshit, doesn't elaborate, and leaves. Respect.
Next, Alex's fashion sense may be all that, but sometimes her wizard skills fall a little flat. Wizards of Waverly Place on Disney Channel.
Art teacher opens up with wizard lessons, where Jerry teaches the kids about undo powder, a powder that can undo any spell when sprinkled on the subject. Surprise, surprise, we never see this past this episode. In art class, we get the return of TJ.
I'll show you, spontaneous.
Miss Major Healy, the art teacher, comes into conflict with TJ, but absolutely adores Alex and asks her to stay behind and clean up. Alex does, a little too fast, and Miss Major Healy becomes suspicious. That night, she rushes into the Russo residence.
You're a wizard!
She needs Alex's help and explains her situation.
TJ and I dated over the summer.
Ew!
It didn't end well, and he turned me into the worst thing that he could think of. A 40-year-old woman.
No!
Alex sprinkles undo powder on her to see if this is true, and it turns out it is.
That reminds me, I have to go sell a car because I am no longer a licensed driver.
Now a teenager, she texts in her resignation and the school's without an art teacher.
You're just gonna cancel art class because you don't have a teacher to teach it?
That's kind of how schools work.
Alex confronts TJ, lets him know she's undone his charm, and he basically says she's won this battle, but not the war. Lara Tate steps in temporarily to teach the class, and Alex and TJ wind up engaging in a paint fight.
Is that all you got?
I'm sorry I painted your mouth red.
I'm sorry I painted your mouth blue.
Want to make purple?
Please.
Turns out Lara Tate is so impressed by the abstract cowboy silhouette that he promises Alex he will hire a new art teacher. And Alex will be the class deputy.
TJ, why don't you take out your sketch pad and draw yourself a detention slip?
I'll show you a detention slip.
Thank you, it's exactly what I wanted.
That backfired.
Meanwhile, Max is pretending to have a disease called mono-orangosis as an excuse to skip PE. It's a color blindness to the color orange. News of his plight spreads, and celebrities begin cropping up to talk to Max like he's a Make-A-Wish kid.
I was hoping you could give this basket to your ailing brother, Max. It has some of his favorite knickknacks and doodads.
Yes, sir, Mr. Larry Tate. I'll give Max the basket.
The first is Misty May Trainer. I don't know who this is, but the show sure expects us to be excited.
You're Misty May Trainer.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Volleyball. Did you just say Misty May Trainer?
Yes!
Oh! Misty May Trainer! Misty May Trainer!
I'm Misty May Trainer.
Oh, yeah? Prove it. How many fingers am I holding up?
2?
Oh my gosh. You are Misty May Trainer.
The next one is treated very casually and with little to no fanfare. Guess who it is?
I'm Dwayne Johnson, the actor.
Great. I'm Alex Russo, and my hobby is I like to poke things with a stick. Actors need a second job until they make it. You're a plumber.
Actually, I'm not a plumber. I've been in quite a few movies. Acting is my first and only job.
All right. Hope that works out for you then.
I ran a Twitter poll to make sure I wasn't insane, and Dwayne Johnson was in fact more famous than Misty May Trainer, and it seems he is. So there are two options here. Dwayne Johnson was chill with being made fun of while Misty wasn't, or the writers just didn't like Dwayne Johnson. The celebrities talked to the parents about how hard it must be, criticized Justin for his antagonism towards Max's disability, before eventually realizing the lie and leaving. So Teresa's only in the final tag of this episode. The Wikia says, Teresa is credited, but she only appeared at the end of the episode, though it was mentioned by Jerry that she is out of town, thus she had a minor role in this episode. Why'd they write that in the most inefficient way humanly possible?
Disney Channel presents a sneak peek of the next all-new Wizards of Waverly Place.
Here's another Harper-based banger, Future Harper. The kids float down a dangerous lava river for Max's birthday. Upon returning, Alex tells Harper the story, and Harper says she's already heard it. In the Charmed and Dangerous book series from acclaimed author H.J. Darling, Justin decides to investigate.
Did she steal our stories?
Wait.
Did she steal our stories?
Wait. She stole our story. There's a crazy 10-minute sale. The kids get stuck in a movie. The brother turns invisible, and they pour orange soda into a genie's lamp.
All right, we've got our evidence. Angry mob, assemble!
The kids have to get to the bottom of this, and Harper happens to know JH's location.
Oh, I know where she lives, in an abandoned paint-your-dish warehouse in upstate New York. I had my mom's private investigator track her down.
Oh, how's the case going?
Oh, everything's fine. Turns out my dad was just sleeping in the car.
The kids use an inter-wizard people porter,
The IPP.
to teleport to her warehouse, and there she is.
Alex, Max, Justin. I mean, who are you people?
There's some what, who are you banter, but you've already figured it out. She's Harper from the future.
I'm Harper from the future. How many fingers am I holding up? 2. Oh my gosh, you are from the future. In the future, everybody knows wizards exist, so it's really not that big of a deal. It's much more interesting for people to read books about wizards in this time period.
She's also still obsessed with Justin, but not her version of Justin, the current teenage Justin.
Hot.
So that's kinda weird. Here, she drops some major bombshells that pay off later in the series.
Wizards got exposed because someone in this room has a big, big mouth. I'm not gonna name names.
Well, how can you travel back in time?
I will admit that I had help from one of the most powerful wizards of all time.
Me? Is it me? Did I win the competition?
Did Mason break up with you already?
Who's Mason?
Oh, take a look.
Remember those? Alex is upset at Harper for sharing their secret with the world, and carries that aggression when she sees Harper at school. Justin's tasked with making sure Alex and Harper stay friends so the future doesn't get disrupted. He gives Alex one of the 7 Charmed and Dangerous books and encourages her to read it, to see how, at their core, the books are about Harper and Alex's friendship.
Alex Russo has a book.
Oh, I can hear you!
Alex reads the books and she forgives Harper, but it's too late. Harper's taken the inner wizard people porter, the IPP, to the pyramids of Egypt to run away. And when they track her down, she's already made it to the Grand Canyon.
I give you permission! A mission to do what? This is impossible! Mission Impossible? I already saw it! Meet me back at the house! Okay. Oh, so you hear that?
You won't get away with this!
What?
You won't get away! What? You won't get away! What? You won't get away! What? You what?
Alex formally apologizes to her best friend and they make up. Future Harper watches happily and gives Harper her hat.
You know her?
Yeah. She's an old friend of mine.
Who says wizards should have all the fun? During Wiztober, you can cast your own spells.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm 10 years old. I cast Resto Giganticus.
You can make your own magic spell at disneychannel.com/Wiztober.
In Alex Does Good, Alex does good. She's friends with this hippie named Maggie, who praises Alex for all the good she constantly does for her. When Alex arrives late to school again, she swiftly gets detention.
Blueberry or apple?
Apple.
Two marshmallows. Hey, nice new Navajo blanket.
You're in here way too often.
Laritate demands she join the Happy Helpers Club or face suspension. Alex reluctantly comes and sees a group of preppy goody two-shoes who do surface level tasks and reward themselves for it. Jenny, the former art teacher, is now a student. Alex talks to Maggie again, who compares the Happy Helpers to fake activists. Alex takes this advice and returns to the Happy Helpers Club, shutting down the entire organization in its tracks.
I know I can be a little selfish too because I don't help a lot of people, but I know when I do. I do more than this, and I don't expect anything in return.
Wow. That was a very moving speech. Worthy of a ribbon!
No!
I think this is honestly an amazing lesson for kids. It shows that maybe the ones doing the most good are the ones we don't see. I like it. Alex and Maggie dress Laritate for 60's day at school, and we don't see Maggie again, nor before this.
When you highlight Max, you don't use a black mark that makes it disappear.
Oh my gosh! Dude, that's Jeanette Broccoletti!
Max, meanwhile, is in love with a girl at school named Jeanette. He tries to make her laugh by insulting everyone around him. She doesn't quite like it, but still agrees to a date. Jerry and Teresa say the date has to be chaperoned and Justin volunteers. Teresa says Max is 13, which is weird because he just had a birthday and is currently a 7th grader. More and more lately, the parents are just showing up for one singular scene per episode. There's also a rare moment here where I buy that the parents are married.
I love you.
Me too.
On the date, Max degrades and humiliates Justin to make his date laugh, and Jeanette finds Justin's quips and comments funnier. Max, losing control, tries to cast a clown spell to humiliate Justin, but accidentally hits himself instead. Apparently, metal reflects magic too. I feel like they should have turned the tray into a clown, but whatever. Jeanette's weirded out, and Max learns that trying too hard to make a girl laugh isn't the way to do it. Being yourself is. Another good lesson, honestly. This episode really wants kids to make positive contributions to society, which is crazy coming from a show with Alex Russo as its protagonist. In Hugh's Not Normus, Alex is being mischievous again.
Wizards versus mortals. Who is stretchier?
And we are not doing this.
Hugh comes in sadly and reveals to the Russos that he ran away from home. See his giant hobo bundle? Turns out he was adopted. While his adopted parents may have been giants, his real parents are just regular wizards, meaning he actually hasn't been a giant all along. Everyone's shocked by this. Alex wants to be a better person and lets him hide in her bedroom when his adopted parents come looking for him. She decides to use magic to make Hugh an actual giant, but screws up and just shrinks her bedroom. Not the rest of the house. Somehow only her bedroom shrank. She gaslights Max into thinking he shrank the bedroom, despite the fact that he wasn't even there, and he believes her. And it's a little confusing because right after this, Alex runs down to the lair, and Hugh's adopted parents are here. Because of how they cut this, I was thinking maybe she shrank the whole house and these are regular people, but no, these are in fact giants. Anyways, it turns out Jerry's racist?
Honor, I've read so many interesting facts about giants. Like how you're so big they make push brooms out of your nose hairs. They have to mow them down.
Here we go again with the stereotypes.
That's not a fact. That's from a joke book about giants.
No, it isn't. My dad told me. He also told me that your shoes are so big, they come with turn signals. And when you back up, you gotta go, beep, coming through, giant. Beep, beep, beep.
Okay. I might have heard a couple of things down at the lodge, and they may not be true.
I was gonna put racism on the list, but that's already on there, like 7 times. Alex decides to cast a family tree spell to learn who Hugh's real parents are, so he can meet them.
Jerry Russo's great-great-grandfather, Ignatius Russo, wrote the first joke book about giants.
I don't know anything about that.
Hugh's birth parents arrive, and they're delightfully kind little people who are very happy to finally meet their son.
You're like a human skyscraper.
Hey, I guess in a way I'm exactly who I always thought I was. I'm a giant after all.
God, I hate myself. Hugh leaves with his family, and Alex finally learns how to be nice to people. Max, meanwhile, realizes Alex falsely blamed him for destroying her bedroom, and decides to completely destroy his bedroom and falsely blame her for revenge.
This is mine.
So you got her too! Sucker! High five, brother!
I am Jake T. Austin from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Now we've reached Don't Rain on Justin's Parade - Earth. I don't know why there's a dash. At career day, Justin takes his favorite weatherman Baxter Knight on as a mentor. Max takes a cop, and Alex takes Laritate. Baxter Knight starts to feel insecure about his abilities due to how constantly wrong his predictions have been, leading to public humiliation after public humiliation with a high likelihood of getting fired.
Tonight there will be a chance of snow. Back to you, Doug.
A chance of snow. Wow, really put yourself out there. Now let me make a prediction. We'll be looking for a new weatherman tomorrow.
He also uses his hand as a talking sidekick named Mr. Nimbus.
I am Mr. Nimbus! He's gonna say that a lot.
When he forecasts snow directly across Waverly Place,
He said our street name.
Justin decides to use magic to make his prediction come true. This makes Baxter overly cocky, and he starts making increasingly outlandish predictions, forcing Justin to keep up, not wanting his favorite weatherman to get fired.
Free ice! I'm getting free ice!
This triggers Mother Nature herself, who scolds Justin for disrupting the delicate ecosystem of the Earth and puts a permanent storm cloud over his head. Max trains his cop to sing. He's only interested if it's a musical cop. Then he gets hit with hail, loses his ability to sing, and Max abandons him.
Without your voice, you're just another cop. And I need a mentor that can do 2 things.
Based. Alex helps Laritate track down the tough bad kids who are vandalizing the school and being naughty. She's able to correctly identify who's responsible for what. The fellow bad kids then criticize Alex for turning good. She starts to become scared that she's a good person.
If I don't stop being good, one day I'm gonna wake up and be a doctor, or even worse, the guy who drives the back end of a fire truck. Oh, just gotta help me.
When Justin comes asking for help, Alex tells him she's a good person now and she can't help him. It's such a funny, perfect role reversal. Now, the show pushes Alex into this responsible role so the episode can work, but Justin's just like this now. He's almost equally irresponsible when you really think about it. Alex just does bad stuff more often. Alex triggers another hailstorm to summon Mother Nature back.
What he did.
She scolds the kids for their environmental damage and gives a wholesome Earth Day message before leaving.
I think I found your dating problem. It's just non-stop talking about the weather, isn't it?
No.
I think he surely learned his lesson about using magic irresponsibly and never will again. Back at school, Alex gives Harper the key to the teacher's bathroom in a desperate play to do something bad again. Lara Tate gives her a month's detention.
The truth is, there's nothing I can do to get through to Sal and the others. But you, Miss Russo, I haven't given up on. You see, I believe there's evil, and there's evil genius.
You think I'm an evil genius? That's so sweet.
Now, you'll have to turn in your theoretical deputy's badge.
Well, that was weird and meaningless.
It's Wiztober on Disney Channel. And here's a Spellcaster shout-out.
Courtney, I'm 13 years old. I live in New York, and I cast Presto Poop.
Hey, you turned him into Zach and Cody.
Yes! Unless the right answer is no!
In Family Game Night, Justin has a girl named Daphne obsessively following him everywhere. They were the only members of their study group who showed up to the art museum last night, and Daphne has mistaken this for a date.
Staying alone with someone at the art museum because you don't want to be rude and just bug out of there, not a date.
She's 100% convinced they're in love. This is literally just how Harper acts on a regular basis, but this time the episode tells us it isn't endearing behavior. Then winds up having to kiss her when the big kiss jumbo screen spotlights them during halftime. He can only think of one way to repulse her away from him. Invite her to Russo Family Game Night, the most controversial, loud, and occasionally violent occurrence known to the Waverly Place neighborhood. Max doesn't get the memo that Justin doesn't like Daphne, so he encourages his parents to be on their best behavior. Alex, meanwhile, uses the body swap spell from Quinceañera to switch bodies with Harper so she can take her history test for her. After the test, they find themselves unable to change back for some unknown reason. Countless tries, no positive results.
Oh, I did it! Not exactly, Alex. I'd still like my body back.
She manages to make the situation increasingly worse when she removes Harper's brain from her head and puts it into her own, leaving Harper brainless.
I have 2 brains inside my head.
Justin explains that the body swap spell has been recalled due to a ton of glitches. I love that it works like that. Spells can fall out of repair and be recalled. It worked perfectly fine last time. Was there like a spell software patch between now and then? Alex has 2 rapidly switching personalities as Daphne comes to game night.
Hey, Harper. Come on out.
Jerry and Teresa can't keep up their good behavior for long and chaos breaks loose, especially when a brainless Harper comes to play. Daphne is so disgusted and repulsed that she leaves on the spot, giving Justin a rare win.
I am way over my head with this toxic family dynamic, and next time you meet a girl, Justin, do not bring her home!
Please, Brain, leave Brain.
Oh, really? It's just that easy.
And polite. No wonder you couldn't figure out the spell.
Justin's new girlfriend is the only episode of the show where only the 6 main cast members speak and no one else does. It's like a episode, it's crazy. The carpet episode was also like this, but it didn't have Harper in it, so it was just the main 5, but whatever. Justin and Harper bond over their love of silent movies, something which Alex absolutely despises, both the movies and the friendship.
It's not that hard to go back and put some voices in the movie. I mean, people do it all the time on the internet. The other day, I saw Big Bird doing a Kanye West song. I don't want you dating Harper. It could upset the delicate balance of who I can pit against whom in my life.
I'm not dating Harper.
Oh, come on.
Alex tries to manipulate Justin, telling him about all the times Harper washed him while he slept, but he's determined to remain friends with her since it bothers Alex so much. It turns out Harper is completely normal around Justin when she isn't thinking about him romantically.
That's a good one. Oh, hey Harper, the Silent Movie Festival runs all week. We should go catch another film.
That's a great idea.
So, our heroic protagonist decides to throw a wrench into it and tells her she's pretty much dating Justin at this point, right?
I am dating Justin. I never thought it would happen like this. By accident. Hey, Justin. How you doing? Have you ever noticed that you and silent film star Ruta Valentino have a lot in common? You're both half Italian, you both worked in a restaurant, although you're not a dancer. But if you were a dancer, I'd come to one of your shows. Are you having a show? Because I would go. Would it make you nervous if I sat up front? Oh, I hope it's Grease, because I love Rizzo and I hate Sandy.
This leaves both Justin and Harper angry at Alex, and now she feels bad and she's looking for a way to make amends. She goes to her mom for advice.
If you truly care about them, you'll need to put their feelings above yours.
Do you know where Dad is?
Teresa suggests that Alex leave the two people alone in a room and make them talk it out. Despite the fact that it doesn't really apply to this situation since Alex didn't provide full context, she opts to do this anyways.
I'm gonna take out the garbage. Ugh. Make your troubles no more going through the outdoor.
She charms the room to be inescapable and forces Justin and Harper to interact. Neither of them are able to escape, but Alex's plan backfires when they both decide to take revenge on her. Justin undoes the spell because Alex forgot spell lock?
But she probably wasn't smart enough to put a spell lock on it.
Okay, spells can swiftly be undone if they don't have a spell lock, I guess. Then they strike.
Take away color and sound, this is where revenge is found.
Alex is trapped in a 1940s physical comedy sequence reminiscent of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. This was really unique and distinct and different. I remember this from my childhood. They were clearly limited with the sets and locations, but they do a good enough job replicating the gags with the show's limited resources. David Henry mastered the physical mannerisms of this era. It's so impressive to watch how well he's captured this style of acting. Ultimately, Justin and Harper make up over their torment with Alex Russo and decide to remain friends. Meanwhile, Jerry's like, haha, Teresa, being a waiter isn't that hard, and Teresa's like, haha, Jerry, being a cook isn't that hard. So they switch places for the day, and then they're like, man, it is hard, and they both bribe Max to do their jobs for them. He buys a pilot's uniform. Anyways, I really like this episode. Good exploration of Harper as a character and her dynamic with Justin. Harper is gradually becoming dimensionalized and losing the insane edge she had in the beginning. By the end of the show, she's the most rational and mature one in the room at any given time, and I feel like it all started here. Next up, we have My Tutor, Tutor. Max is struggling with his wizard training as he accidentally turns himself invisible due to holding his wand backwards. Jerry has arranged for Max to have a special wizard tutor, which both Alex and Justin are vehemently opposed to. Alex fearing she'll be the next to have a tutor, and Justin outraged he wasn't considered. The tutor arrives, and it turns out she's a beautiful woman who Justin immediately changes his mind about and falls in love with.
Justin!
Alex also starts to bond with her due to their mutual love of the same wizard comic book. I feel like the notion of a wizard exclusive comic book is way too interesting of a concept to only get one offhanded mention in this whole show. Alex and Justin are now competing over who gets to form a relationship with Tutor. Harper shows up for only one scene today. Alex explains that Tutor is named Tutor because a lot of people in the wizard world name their kids after the profession they want them to have.
Sometimes it doesn't really work out. My dad goes to a doctor named Butcher. Anyway.
I don't even know what to write here. We never hear this concept again. But I bring this scene up because Harper's wearing a dress made out of fruit roll-ups. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I am in love with the costuming of this series. I have no eye for clothing, no eye for fashion. I watched 163 episodes of the franchise and had zero thoughts about any of the wardrobes except for Skylar Storm's outfit in Mighty Med, which I thought was, not good, not very good at all, no. But here, it's so impressive to me how much effort goes into these. Harper has one, if not multiple, creative outfits in every single episode. This show's lead costume designer, Julie Ryan, deserves so much credit. She's just one of the unsung heroes of this series production.
This is where we actually keep all the cast clothing. Got every single piece that I've ever worn on the show.
My role as the costume designer on this show is to basically, from the moment we get the script, let's say on a Wednesday morning, is to break it down and to determine what's all needed for the show.
You know, it sort of evolves throughout the week, and finally on Monday I get to see it, and it's amazing.
Some of my favorite Harper outfits include rubber ducks, a roadway. My all-time favorite from season 3 is made out of markers. Just in general, in terms of production value and care and attention, there's no competition between Wizards and the other shows I've talked about. The set dressing is incredible. The world of Wizards feels real and lived in, while everything else feels hyper-sanitized and barren. Back to the episode, Justin takes Tudor on a date to the Leprechaun Grill in the Wizard world. Again, amazing, immediately iconic outfit. Alex shows up to crash the party. There's an employee here who should have been the monotone woman.
Sure and Begora, welcome to the Leprechaun Grill. We'd like to try our new pot of gold mini tostada.
You'll never be her. Then they have a leprechaun held captive in a cage here. It's not a sitcom from the 2000s if it hasn't aged just a little poorly, I guess.
I'm famished. I've been working all day. You can't just pass some of those buds.
You mean one of these?
No.
Hey!
So leprechauns are enslaved? Since we already have magic slavery, I'm gonna go ahead and revise this list a little bit. Enslaved species include elves, probably dragons, and leprechauns, and there is racism against goblins, werewolves, and giants. Back at the lair, Max has improved greatly and mastered his wand-eye coordination. Tudor says that once Max passes the quiz tomorrow, she'll move on to her next student. Alex and Justin suddenly start to panic at the notion of losing their friend Tudor.
She's the first wizard girl I've ever met who's actually normal. Most wizard girls are all like, hee hee hee, I'm a wizard, oh my god.
Wizard girls don't talk like that.
In my mind, they do. Maybe we could find a couple of tutors to help him unlearn.
Where are we gonna find a couple of tutors at this late hour?
I know, let me call someone.
Hello? Hello? Oh. Us.
Yeah.
So they encourage Max to stay up all night watching unicorn attacks. The next morning, he miserably fails his test. When he speaks to Teresa, she quickly figures out that his siblings duped him and subtly encourages him to take revenge. At the Leprechaun Grill, Alex and Justin calmly explain to Tudor that she has to be either Alex's friend or Justin's girlfriend. Only one.
Look, Tudor, being my friend and also his girlfriend isn't really gonna work out for us. We try to keep our lives very separate.
Yeah, we find it's better for everyone that way.
That's when Max arrives to expose them and calls them out on what they did. A huge step towards Max becoming an independent character. Alex tries to gaslight Max into thinking he made that up. He believes her, but then Justin finally cracks and confesses the truth out of guilt. Tudor is so disgusted by their behavior that she chooses neither of them. Next frees the leprechaun from its cage, and it violently attacks his siblings.
You know, he has a lot of talent, but he can't focus it because of all the dysfunction in this family.
What do you mean? We're not that dysfunctional.
Tudor heads to her next job and reveals that she's part elf. Elves have a magical effect which makes everybody obsessively like them, making Alex and Justin suddenly realize how it was possible that they both enjoyed the same person. I'm guessing his friends from movies must have been elves too, since that already happened. We never see the girl again, so we'll never know. And I guess Alex has realized by now that Zeke is a loser and she no longer likes him at all. But let's go back to Tudor being an elf. This confirms that wizards aren't limited to humans. Besides Hugh falsely thinking he's a giant, there has been no indication up to this point that wizards can be any other species, as everyone we saw at WizTech was a human. But wizards, or at least the magic world in general, keeps pocket elves as slaves. I guess it's a subspecies or whatever, but couldn't a pocket elf or a werewolf or a giant theoretically become a wizard? What does Tudor think about the enslavement of pocket elves? It's very suspicious that despite other species being capable of becoming wizards, WizTech only has human students, huh? Especially given the explicit racial prejudice wizards have against these other species.
I hate leprechauns.
The true test of talent in the Russo family is how well you wave a wand. A new episode of Wizards of Waverly Place is next on Disney Channel.
Paint by Committee continues to explore Alex as an artist, a characterization that the show comes to really enjoy through the second and third seasons. She's been painting with the art hippies down in an abandoned subway tunnel. Justin and Harper arrive to tell her that the school mural committee, which they apparently lead, has selected Alex to paint the school mural due to every other submission being terrible. Alex agrees when she realizes she gets to skip class. She comes up with a design that she's passionate about. New York above and below, with a vibrant, colorful city up top and a dark underbelly beneath the surface.
I want to make it good because I have to look at the stupid thing every day. Except this one's not stupid, it's actually really awesome. But I'm not excited about it.
Everyone in the mural committee starts to eject random suggestions like add panda bears, add caricatures, add cowboys, add Harper's grandma. Alex makes these changes, but she winds up with a disjointed piece that she's deeply unhappy with. Line, the wise paint hippie, tells her that it's impossible to please everyone.
You're probably right. Or maybe you're not.
No, I'm definitely right. I mean, you can't please everyone.
Okay, I was trying to make a dramatic exit, so.
Oh, all right. Well, do your thing.
Okay, thank you. You're probably right. Or maybe you're not.
Alex casts an Eye of the Beholder spell on the wall, causing everyone to see a personalized version of the mural.
Cowboys look like panda bears to me.
Well, Buckaroo, with great art, the interpretations are endless.
Alex leaves deeply unsatisfied with her work, however, and thinks she's a sellout. As she paints the mural she actually wanted down in the subway, Lion tells her that sometimes artists have to sell out. He spends the day making holiday greeting cards that he doesn't enjoy at all, then comes down here at night to make the art he really wants. Which, like, what a message for children's programming. The show accepts that you don't always get completely happy endings, but you have to find peace with the situations you have. You can hear the voices of hundreds of artists and writers in LA coming through this random, one-off character. Justin, feeling bad for his sister, decides that her actual mural deserves to be seen. He uses magic to place New York above and below on the wall of the school. Everyone hates it, but Alex is happy that it got to be seen, and happy that her brother did that for her.
I can't believe you did all that for me.
Well, you're the artist and you're my sister, and I think your work deserves to be seen.
Thank you.
I literally just smile when they talk. So many shows have huge dramatic tirades about how it's about family.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
And then characters shout, "We're family," every 5 seconds.
We're family. We got a problem, we deal with it together.
We're the Duck family and we are ready for anything.
We're a family.
That's my family. If you hurt my family, I will hunt you down, so you better take me out too.
Like, shut up! Just saying that constantly doesn't make you more related to each other, but in Wizards, the characters don't have to proclaim that they're family. There isn't a single overdramatic, sappy speech like that in the whole show. Yet I buy these characters' connections to each other more than almost any other siblings in media. During the B story, Max films a viral video of Jerry slipping and falling. It blows up, and this was back during the era when people said hits referring to viral videos.
They got tons of hits, people loved it.
Next, Max has Jerry catapult him up to the balcony, where Teresa yelled at him to knock it off. Now, she has become a viral sensation too. Kids at school ask Max how he'll top it. Alfred's literally just gone. This kid could have been Alfred, but it's not. Alfred's gone. Max then crashes a unicycle into garbage cans. And no one cares because they're only fans of Teresa. This sort of feels like incomplete. It didn't have a proper ending, really. But I guess in a season of 30 episodes with tight deadlines, 1 or 2 scripts might not get all the attention they deserve. There's a couple more B-plots like this in the back half of the season, but they're all very small, so it's not a big deal. In Wizard for a Day is Jerry's birthday. Justin gets him a charmed soup can that sharpens pencils. Alex forgets to get him anything at all and just kinda hopes it doesn't come up. She decides to try this year and sets her sights on the first magical object she saw in the first page she opened in a magic book. The powerful relic called Merlin's Hat, which grants any mortal person magical powers for one day. She sets out on a dangerous quest to find it.
Oh, really?
Really?
Hold this.
No. Okay.
Jerry, with new magic abilities, isn't using them for much. He makes pencils appear to sharpen them, then produces a milkshake from his favorite childhood restaurant, the Asteroid Belt. He's a simple man. It's important to Alex that her gift is better than Justin, so she turns the substation into the Asteroid Belt milkshake bar. Jerry loves it, but as he tells Alex to turn it back, customers begin pouring in to relive their childhood nostalgia. They're just like me for real. This old lady actor here in real life, do you think she's homophobic? There's no way to know, but I just think about these things sometimes. The Asteroid Belt becomes highly successful. Jerry's wardrobe looks like Sentinel Prime's wrists from Transformers Animated, and I find that highly distracting. Justin has to grapple with the fact that his birthday present was no longer the best one.
Restaurant themes like this are just a fad, bro. They never last, believe me.
Mr. Russo? We're with the Waverly Place Merchants Association, and we've come to present you with an award for having a fantastic fad that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Jerry winds up hiring Harper again, and throughout the rest of the series, she's an employee of the substation.
My mom's always saying that's how people get taken advantage of.
Oh, Harper, no one's taking advantage of you. You've got the first 4 shifts.
This poor girl could so easily get wrapped up in a cult. Harper deserves better than this family sometimes. Alex comes to absolutely hate the new restaurant and the extra hours she has to work, and seeing her brother use the restaurant as a meeting club for the Alien Language League.
Chickadee bing boom.
Oh my gosh, I have to make this stop.
The Alien Language League has been mentioned off and on for a few episodes now. It's a club that Justin and Zeke co-founded. It's more relevant in season 3, but it's starting to get referenced exponentially more commonly.
You guys believe it? Aliens have landed on Waverly Place!
Yeah, well, who's gonna tell them they can't park there?
Then, all of a sudden, actual aliens arrive from space to claim the Asteroid Belt's milkshake machine as their own. I just spent several minutes praising the costume department, and now they give us this shit? These mighty med-looking motherfuckers cause all sorts of problems. Merlin's hat no longer works due to the initial day running out.
Am I alone on the big island?
I knew it!
Ultimately, Justin shoots Merlin's hat and the Asteroid Belt disappears. The aliens leave disappointed.
And how did you know that shooting Merlin's hat would reverse all of Dad's wishes?
I didn't. I was just really sick of that present.
The kids learn a valuable lesson about appreciating the simpler things in life, and the actual alien invasion is passed off as a simple publicity stunt. The end. The next episode is very special, and it's simply one link of the greatest crossover event of all time.
Disney Channel presents a Summer of Stars event, Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana.
Let's go.
That's Wizards of Waverly Place on the Sweet Life on Deck with Hannah Montana.
Wow, you like my place, huh?
Like it? I can't see it.
For the first time ever, see what happens when 9 stars.
I'm Zach. I'm kind of the one on the ship who does weird and hilarious stuff. I'm the one who does cool stuff that people laugh at for no reason.
From 3 shows.
I was thinking while I was in there, these tights could be a hat.
You see how much fun this cruise is?
Are all on board the SS Tipton.
It's Hannah Montana!
Friday, July 17th on Disney Channel. Be here for Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana.
Did you hear that?
It's one cruise you will never forget.
Now keep your head down. The last thing we need is to be recognized.
Hey, Hannah!
Watch Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana. Premieres Friday, July 17th at 8/7 Central on Disney Channel.
Aren't you hyped, man? So there are 2 big crossovers like this on the Disney Channel. First was 2006's That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana, which brought That's So Raven, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and Hannah Montana together. I know I watched that as a kid, but I don't remember if I watched it live the day it aired. My sister thinks we did, but I know for sure that we watched this second one when it debuted on July 17th, 2009.
That's what I said. Let's go!
It all kicks off with a Wizards episode called Castaway to Another Show.
Not what it seems.
Alex is a naughty, terrible student, and she's behind in her science class.
The 14 missing assignments.
I thought it was 10.
What? I told you that 4 weeks ago.
Suddenly, Justin receives word that he won an essay contest and gets a teen cruise to Hawaii. So the family heads to the SS Tipton. Zach, Cody, Bailey, Mr. Mosby! Wow, apparently Teresa has an irrational fear of boats.
You know, the ship's name is Tipton, which has the word tip in it, which makes me really nervous. How does this thing float?
Magic.
There's no such thing as magic.
Alex convinces her parents to let her take her science class on the Tipton, and they reluctantly agree. Apparently, you don't have to pre-enroll, you can just walk into class at any time while you're on a presumably week-long cruise. The kids are sleeping in the infirmary. Mosby says it's because they're overbooked. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess it's because they didn't have any spare cabin sets to film the Wizards cast on. Now the kids split off for 3 subplots. The rest of the episode doesn't so much have a plot as it is a series of random events occurring. Max decides to take random people's blood pressure.
It's one of those arm clocks. I'm gonna go put it on people and tell them what time it is inside their bodies.
There he runs into the mischievous Zach, and the two of them just do dumb/unintelligent things that aren't humorous. Alex opens up her bag and there's Harper. She tells Harper to take on the name Alex Russo and take her classes for her.
I'm gonna be the girl on this ship having as much fun as she can, as fast as she can, until she gets caught.
Harper's a good student. She becomes friends with Cody. Alex becomes friends with Bailey, and just random various activities with her. She tells everyone her name is Ashley Olsen. The only story that has any sort of structure is Justin's. He sees the beautiful London Tipton at a paleontology exhibit, and in a panic, tells her he's a paleontologist named Dr. Fossil.
Excuse me, do you work in this jewelry store? Can I see that in a princess setting?
She asks him on a date.
I like doctors. So, Dr. Fossil, if we were going on a second date, and I'm not saying we are because I think the number second comes after the number first. But then again, I was never really good with lowercase numbers. Where would you take me? Tonight, 8? I'll meet you there, Dr. Fossil.
The doctor is in.
At dinner, London talks about how people often make up stories just to get with her. She's glad that Dr. Fossil is so sincere. Then she has to leave to take photos with the poor Russos, obviously putting Justin in a tight spot.
London Tipton thinks I'm the rich Dr. Fossil, and she's on her way down here to take a picture with the poor Russos.
Oh no, we're poor? Well then, guess I can't afford these.
Where am I gonna get a disguise? Harper!
Hi, Justin.
You're good with costumes, right? Okay, I need you to make me some. Well, I'm not sure if I have that material, but Harper? What are you doing here?
I'm part of Alex's scheme.
I need you to be Alex Russo.
London thinks Justin looks just like Dr. Fossil, and that's when Justin realizes he has to break it off with her. Max and Zach's utterly humorous behavior indirectly causes Bailey to choke to death. Justin doesn't know how to save her, Alex does. This leads to Alex's identity getting exposed.
Harper, I got an A on the first quiz.
Wait a minute. She just called you Harper. She called you Ashley, and you called her Alex? Okay, what is your name?
I'm gonna clear this up for you right now. Her name is Alex Russo. She's my sister. We live.
London breaks up with Justin for being a bad doctor and being way too dumb after not knowing how to save this woman. Justin can live with that. In the end, Alex sends Harper back home because I guess Jennifer Stone didn't sign on for an episode of a different show.
Oh, wait, did I say Rome or home first? She'll like Rome.
This bleeds into the Sweet Life on Deck Season 1 finale, Double Crossed, which I think is a far stronger episode in terms of having a plot. In Castaway, there are no actual obstacles for the characters achieving their goals. Max and Alex just wanted to have fun, and then they did, the end. The next one's a far better structured television production. Hannah Montana herself arrives on a boat to perform a concert in Hawaii. Cody already knows her from the 2006 crossover and thinks he can sweet-talk her into giving him and Bailey tickets for the show. So, he and Bailey haven't started dating yet, and I gather at this point in the show, Cody's eager for a relationship to start. Woody's here too. His one joke is that he likes eating.
Does he still have the cake? Hey guys, want to bite a birthday cake?
Whose birthday is it?
I don't know, some guy. Whenever I hear singing, I just go in the room. My cake! Maybe there's still some left at the party.
It's like Hugh Normus, but 8,000 times worse. At least with Hugh Normus, you know that the writers themselves know the joke isn't funny. With Woody, I think it's unironic face value humor. Alex and Zach meet, then both get scolded by their brothers. Zach's pulled a zany, crazy prank on Cody, which Justin accuses Alex of doing, so now they know each other. Max is trying to impress London Tipton. It's literally just the same thing with Justin, except now it's Max doing it, and it's 3 scenes and barely an afterthought. London's into Max even though he's a child. Hannah and Lola, aka Miley and Lily, are bunkered down in their cabin as a frenzied mob tries to get in. Cody tries to let Kirby let him in, but Hannah doesn't remember Cody. Alex is being a sneaky little girl and she fills the hot tub with blue dye, somehow knowing Justin would get in it. The last 2 links of this crossover, episodes of other shows, were the final things I watched in this Wizards Waverly Place rewatch project, and Justin getting covered with blue dye was my final repressed memory of Wizards of Waverly Place to get unlocked. Like, I audibly gasped at this.
His face is turning red, his body's blue. Stick a few stars in him, we can fly him off the back of the boat.
I remembered it so vaguely, but it was in my brain. Mr. Mosby sees this innocent guest covered in dye, and both of them have an idea as to who's responsible.
I know exactly who's gonna be shark bait.
As do I, Zach. Alex? What?
This was Alex, I know my sister.
Oh, this was Zach, I know my hooligan.
Now, Alex is on the run as she gets hunted down by these 2 sticklers for the rules. She winds up running into Zach, who welcomes her into his cabin. She accidentally drops the dye vial outside the door, which prompts Mosby to blame Zach entirely and confide him to his cabin.
You'll have to entertain yourself with whatever's in this room.
I think I can make that work.
Jesus! This is the one instance in the entire Wizards franchise where Alex uses science to mess with Justin instead of magic, and that's clearly just a massive contrivance so that Zach can get framed for this. Zach thinks it must have been Cody who framed him as payback for the prank this morning, and he's on the hunt to get revenge. I've gotta say, I love show crossovers that put a ton of thought into the character pairings, and having Justin and Mosby team up to pursue Zach and Alex is the best possible use of these characters and the maximum potential for a crossover between the shows. Although I also think it would have been better if we, the audience, didn't know who dyed the pool and let it be a mystery, because we know for a fact Justin's gonna be right. We watched Alex do it. Cody and Woody do a scavenger hunt for Hannah Montana tickets.
What idiot puts a swordfish on a scavenger hunt list?
This show just has one main hub set, and since there's too many subplots going on for each to have a designated area, they instead just have this 3-minute sequence where characters ebb and flow through the one room. Max talks with London down here, Cody and Woody enter, talk about the scavenger hunt, then leave, Alex and Zach enter, look for Cody, then leave, Justin and Mosby enter, then Cody and Woody enter again. The final object they need to win tickets is a golden goblet. There it is! But uh-oh, now Zach decides to take revenge on his brother.
How could you? My own brother! What?
Justin catches Alex and decides to expose her to Mosby. He pours water on her hand and reveals the dye.
Justin, Mr. Mosby is our host on this lovely cruise, and you insult him by arguing with him. Come, brother.
I recognize those word-twisting manipulations followed by a hasty exit. It was you!
She's apprehended for good. Surely she's learned a lesson and will never use science irresponsibly again. Cody apologizes to Bailey for not getting tickets, and she says it's okay. She's never had a guy try so hard to please her. Hannah Montana re-enters, remembers Cody, and offers them free tickets.
Cody, this is gonna be the best date ever.
Date?
Oh yeah.
Excuse me a second.
Yes!
Apparently this crossover was the beginning of their relationship, which I think is super cool. Remember when they broke up in Paris? I cried, man. London also kisses Max.
He's not a man, he's a child.
But for now.
I was gonna be like, oh, grooming, content, trigger warning. But like, honestly, London, I think she's less intelligent than Max. I don't think she even has the capacity for a baseline understanding of ethics, so whatever. Then the Russos dismount. Despite a 3-part crossover between 3 shows, Hannah Montana and Wizards of Waverly Place don't overlap at all. Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus don't even get one scene together, which seems like an insane oversight. Were their schedules really that tight that they couldn't find a day to go on set together? It's weird. The third part is the worst because I hate to break this to you, everyone, but Hannah Montana is painfully unfunny, and that's an objective reality of the world we live in. I've tried to rewatch it, I've considered doing a video, but I would be absolutely miserable, even more so than I was with Elite Force. Because you can tell Miley Cyrus herself doesn't give a shit about the show past season 1. She's publicly stated this in many places. It's just unfunny lines that the actors themselves don't find funny or try to make funny, written for the lowest common denominator of unintelligent children. I was one of those children. I liked it back then. In part 3, a Hannah Montana episode called Superstitious Girl, which doesn't feature the wizards at all, Miley loses her lucky anklet which her late mother gave her. She winds up with terrible luck at all turns, and her concert rehearsal goes terribly. She looks for the anklet but can't find it. A cleaning lady finds it and gives it to Mr. Mosby. London promptly takes it as her own because it's shiny. Zach sexually harasses Miley and Lily multiple times.
No, I get it. You want to spend a little one-on-one time with old Zach Donald. Here a kiss, there a kiss, everywhere a kiss, kiss. So, let's say I go check out the dessert buffet and bring us back a little strawberry shortcake. You see what I did there? So, I'll be right back, and don't worry, I'll bring back a little dessert for Highlighter Head. Got vanilla in this pocket, tapioca in this pocket, and napkins in the back. Where'd you go?
Miley finally tracks London down and asks for the anklet back, but London is so dumb and goofy that she drops it into the ocean below. Hannah's wig blows off as well. She's bummed and decides to cancel the concert.
There is no concert. I'm sorry.
What? Well, is this going to affect the after party?
Until her dad, who's also on the boat, gives her a pep talk and cheers her up and gives her a spare wig, which Miley herself has apparently never thought to bring to anything.
Without Mom up there on stage with me, I'm gonna blow it.
I know what you mean. I used to worry about that same thing, raising you kids without her. But I did it. You know how? Because she was with me every step of the way. Right in here. And anklet or no anklet, it's the same thing for you. She's with you. Right there.
She cheerily proclaims that the concert's back on.
Hey! What are you guys sitting around here for? Don't you have tickets to my concert? And the after party? Let's go! Yes! Oh my gosh, Cody, did you do this?
Bailey, look. If this relationship doesn't have honesty, it doesn't have anything. Yes! Yes, I did!
All 5 Sweet Life main characters appear in exactly 2 short scenes each. They're barely even in this. It's basically just a regular Hannah Montana episode that takes place on a boat and has small 60-second cameos from the Zack and Cody cast. Then she performs in Hawaii. What is this? Did they film like an actual real performance Miley did and then had Hannah wear a corresponding dress when they filmed this episode? In the B-plot, Jackson and Oliver are home alone. A package gets delivered which Dad tells them not to open, but they're just too darn curious and they open it anyways. It turns out to be an inflatable bounce house which Dad ordered solely to warn them not to open his packages. This visual is the only thing that felt even slightly familiar about this third part. It was mid. Anyway, glad that's over. The week after the crossover, Wizards of Waverly Place started experimenting with its storytelling and marketing, as the network heavily promoted an epic 4-part saga, Wizards vs. Vampires.
Next Friday.
There's another sandwich shop on Waverly Place?
The late night bite.
Competition arrives
We should send somebody down there to check it out.
with a secret ingredient
You don't want to be caught dating the competition.
that bites back.
They're vampires! That's why they had fangs.
For the first time ever, a Wizard's 4-part blood-sucking saga.
Prepare to meet
Hold for it.
your doom!
Wizards versus vampires.
They have stolen all our business.
You're dating the competition?
What is the deal?
The saga begins with a fantastic supersized episode.
Best night ever.
Starts next Friday at 8/7 Central on Disney Channel.
The first of these 4 episodes is Wizards vs. Vampires on Waverly Place. When the substation's business reaches an all-time low, Alex discovers there's a new sandwich shop on the block called the Late Night Bite. Justin is sent on a reconnaissance mission, and that's when we're introduced to one of the most memorable characters of the series, Juliet Van Heusen.
You know their takeout menus. If you want a copy, the trash can out front probably has like 20 of them.
Anyone who knows 2010's Disney Channel immediately recognizes Bridget Mendler, the star of Lemonade Mouth and Good Luck Charlie. But before those, she had her acting debut and induction to the Disney Channel right here. Juliet's parents, Alucard and Cindy Van Heusen, recognize Justin from the substation, accuse him of spying, and kick him out.
He's not spying, Daddy. I mean, he's very nice. He was just videotaping our menu for his... You know, things are not looking good for you.
Juliet gives him her number before he leaves. Back at home, Jerry starts putting the pieces together.
Hold up. Garlic style? Open all night? Count? Fangs? They're vampires.
Van Heusens are vampires? That's why they had fangs.
There is some clear racial tension between wizards and vampires here. I don't know why every species hates wizards this much. I guess they're like the mythical creature equivalent of white people. Justin asks Alex to help him secretly date Juliet without their parents finding out.
What do I do?
Use magic.
That's it?
Would you have thought of it?
Nope.
Okay then. Alright, well.
For some reason, this episode paints Justin as a complete and total stickler for the rules like he was in the very beginning.
I use magic to add 5 minutes to the break schedule. Now when we date, it'll be for 25 minutes at a time.
You used magic to do this. Justin, you could have used magic to stop time, freeze Mom and Dad so they can't find you, create an alternate universe where you and Juliet could date for like a year, but it would only be a minute of our time. Something big and magical.
I also used it to grow 2 inches.
You want to know something crazy? The iTunes version of this episode was 15 minutes longer. It's a full 37-minute episode, almost double length. Juliet wakes up from a nightmare, and we follow a montage of her nightly routine. She lies to her parents and tells them she's going to terrorize mortals when she is, in fact, sneaking out on her date with Justin. There's a lot of puns. It's great stuff.
AB positive. Oh, Daddy, go back to dead.
I'll switch to blood light.
On a walk through a graveyard, Justin subtly tries to make Juliet reveal she's a vampire. The scene goes on for far longer than it needs to.
You tend to walk faster through graveyards. I mean, unless, you actually like graveyards. Do you? You know what? Actually, wow, we have some time to kill.
Well, yeah, I guess we could hang out here for a while.
Aha! You said hang. I'm not sure about this this movie that we're gonna see. I don't think there'll be enough blood in it for me.
It's a romantic comedy.
No, I'm just saying, I'm totally fine with blood. It's not a thing, aren't you?
Hey, I was wondering if we could grab a bite after the movie.
Aha!
2 zombies pop out of the ground and ask Juliet how her parents are doing. She puts Justin to sleep immediately, a power she only has in the Snyder Cut version of the episode. Back to the content of the Disney Channel release, Justin confesses he knows she's a vampire, and Juliet confesses she knows he's a wizard. Due to smelling his scent, wizards have a scent. For some reason, they both choose to have this grand, romantic display directly outside of the substation where they're trying not to be seen. But they both agree to finally tell their parents. Then, just to make sure there's absolutely no subtlety about this being a clear Romeo and Juliet homage, Alex calls them Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo, Juliet, let's wrap it up with the looky looks.
To compete with Late Night Bite, Jerry has decided to level the Subway theme of his restaurant up to 100.
Okay, and here we are.
Can we eat now?
Not yet, sir. First, a little Subway entertainment. Harper, you're on.
And 1, 2, 3.
And there's another extended chunk on the iTunes version. As well as a scene where Harper tells Teresa she'll end up with Justin someday, which is a weird thing to say to his mother. And back to said iTunes version, Justin gets cold feet and can't tell them. Teresa drops a lore bomb that Jerry bought the subway car at an auction while eating a sandwich, and she's despised it ever since. And returning to the normal version, Alex is sick and tired of Max doing impressions all day, and is desperately trying to send him away to underwater summer camp.
There's this magical underwater seahorse ranch that's all filled up, but I've got him slowly moving up that wait list.
The extended version has several extra scenes of Max doing impressions, and they're all almost close to humorous, per usual with Max. Anyways, we're still in the normal episode territory. The Van Husens enter the substation and declare war.
Come on!
Daddy.
Now, back to iTunes. Justin and Juliet are just too sad to do anything.
The specials today are... What am I talking about? There's nothing special about today. There's nothing special about tomorrow. There's nothing special ever.
Juliet argues with her parents, who try to set her up with some random customer instead.
Well, look at him. He's perfect.
No,
he's
not
perfect.
him.
Yes, hello, young man. Yes, hi. I'd like to introduce you to our daughter, Juliet.
Great. I think this is diet.
What are you guys trying to do? He's like 45 years old.
Yes, but you're like 2,000. What difference does it make?
In the regular episode, Alex decides to help her brother out. She even correctly refers to his action figures as action figures.
A little action figure.
Clear character growth from season 1. She gives him a pair of glasses that change his appearance, but then steals them back when she needs them for something. Justin and Juliet finally convince the Van Husens to let them date each other, and they reluctantly agree. At home, Jerry and Teresa aren't as accepting, but Alex tells her parents that Justin's done nothing wrong, he's just in love, and they agree as well. In the iTunes version, Justin decides to add "we're dating" to the dry erase board, while Jerry tells Alex she's a good person.
No, Daddy, please don't say that. It makes me uncomfortable.
I know, that's why I'm gonna keep saying it. You're the good child.
Daddy.
You're the good child.
Stop it.
You're the good
Stop
child.
it.
Alex is good.
No.
Look how good she is. Oh, someone did something good. It's Alex.
No, I did not do it.
You're good.
It was actually really cool to discover an extended version of this episode. Juliet's here to be a prominent character throughout the rest of the series, and she's a welcome addition. Here's something I'm scratching my head about. The Wikipedia page says that in future Harper mentions saving a girl named Juliet. It doesn't say it's an extended version or anything, though. It's definitely not in the regular episode, so is there an extended iTunes version of future Harper where that happens? I do not see any documentation of that existing anywhere else in the world except for this Wikipedia page. So that's something I'm curious about.
I'm David Henry from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.
The saga continues with Wizards vs. Vampires, Tasty Bites. Juliet comes over for dinner. I remember this confused me as a kid. Now, all of a sudden, the parents are overjoyed by Justin dating Juliet, and they're hyped for her to be there. They think she's wonderful all of a sudden. What is Alex doing in the background? Despite being advertised as part of a serialized arc, these episodes still have the regular, episodic lack of continuity they usually do. Juliet reveals that vampires are health-conscious creatures, and the Russos' unhealthy food just won't do. Jerry throws away a whole cake, and it made me mad as a child, and it still makes me mad. It looked good. The family quickly becomes fitness nuts, which Alex is not a fan of.
Thank you for ruining our family. Just kidding. But seriously, I'm not gonna eat with you guys. It's just so good.
Harper lets Juliet know there are no hard feelings.
He and I have had an on and off relationship for years. We're off now, which is why you guys are on, so I'm cool.
Whoa! What's with the garlic? We were just having a conversation.
Sorry, I just wasn't sure how this whole thing was gonna go.
Oh, you're the food for clothes girl. Yeah, Justin has talked about you.
Max accidentally creates a pumpkin, and he decides he'll live inside of it for the rest of his life. That's what he's up to today. Alex convinces Harper to get a job with her at the late night bite. They're quickly hired. Alucard and Cindy mention that younger vampires convince humans to eat healthy before sucking their blood. Alex, in a panic, rushes to Justin to warn him that Juliet's going to eat him.
I can't believe it. You got a job?
I know, it's weird, huh? I never thought that I would get... No, stop!
Justin wears a scarf on his next date and is extremely frightened by Juliet's fangs growing in. Look, she has vampire speed. She doesn't use that ever again, but boy is there a moment in season 3 where she should have. Suddenly, Juliet reveals a double plot twist. Cindy and Alucard hired Alex and Harper to drink their blood. Justin rushes to get his family and they come to the rescue.
Oh my gosh. Well, what if we only have time to save one? Alex is our daughter. But the Harper has so much more potential.
We both know it'd be Harper who'd take care of us in our old age. We'll talk about it on our way.
Alex is getting her employee photo taken, told to stretch her neck as far as she can, and she sees nothing wrong with this. That's when the Russos arrive.
Mom? Dad? Max?
Harper! Oh, we've come to save you!
Max is covered in pumpkin, and that's apparently vampire repellent, that being the reason pumpkins are put out on Halloween. The terrified Van Husens agree to stop being bad, and then everyone eats ice cream together. The end. Awesome episode.
Next, Cranium Revolvus. Turn your heads towards the TV and fall under the spell of Wizards of Waverly Place on Disney Channel.
Wizards vs. Vampires, Dream Date. Alex plays skee-ball with Dean. Remember Dean? We haven't seen him since episode 7 of this season, which reaffirmed how in love they are with each other. On their date, Alex and Dean play skee-ball and flirt and have all kinds of fun. Then Dean wakes up. The whole thing was a dream? And it turns out, double plot twist, Alex has been controlling his dreams ever since he moved away.
Look, I go into his dreams and I control everything, so it's exactly the way I want. Since Dean moved away, our relationship has never been better.
Dean shows up to visit and takes Alex on a date to skee-ball, but there he's a jerk. He doesn't really care about Alex and doesn't pay attention to her.
Barbecue bacon cheeseburger with curly fries inside the bun, a double chocolate shake with whipped cream on the bottom.
You gotta stop eating like that. Giant hunk of meat will just wreck your heart.
Yeah, that's not the only thing that's wrecking my heart.
Alex is sad at school and she tells Harper that Dean's a terrible boyfriend and she might have to break up with him. But since that's too emotionally difficult for her, she concocts a plan to make him break up with her. She performs a poor hygiene spell to be stinky and terrible. When Dean comes, he thinks Alex has fallen apart without him in town.
I'm gonna try and say this as nice as I can, but you look like something I snaked out of my shower drain.
Alex tries to talk him into a breakup and he agrees with no resistance, breaking Alex's heart. That night, she returns to his dream to get a sort of post-mortem for their relationship. He tells Alex that she'll always be his first love.
You'll always be my first love, Alex. That's one thing that will never change.
Same here. Goodbye, Dean.
Alex finds peace with this and Dean wakes up, but Alex stays in the dream somehow, playing skee-ball with Abraham Lincoln. Very cool. Max gets the most undercooked sea story I've ever seen. He orders a hot dog, the monotone woman gives him the wrong toppings, and he says, "Man, what happened to our relationship?" Then in the closing tag, he returns dressed as a hot dog, and the monotone woman gets his toppings correct.
Nice gesture wearing that hot dog suit for me. What? Oh, this? Oh no, it's not for you. It's for something I'm doing later.
Like, this feels so bizarre and incomplete. What was the point of this? This is Monotone Woman's only appearance in season 2 and final appearance in the series. Bye, Monotone Woman, we'll miss you. In the Justin Juliet story, Juliet invites him to go camping with her. He starts to become nervous that they've been moving too seriously too quickly. When he asks his dad permission to go, Jerry surprisingly says yes.
As long as you're hanging upside down in separate rooms.
But Justin's just too concerned and too nervous about the relationship's progress that he lies to Juliet and says Jerry said no. She agrees they may be moving too fast.
I mean, we are getting pretty serious.
I'm fine with it. But you know, parents, They get all serious about getting serious.
They're genuinely talking like they're having sex off screen. This went over my head as a kid, obviously. Juliet comes to ask Jerry why he said no, and obviously Jerry doesn't know what she's talking about.
Why would he be packing? He can't go.
He can't go? Oh, he'll be so disappointed. He was really excited.
Yeah, I know. So why can't he go?
I don't know. You haven't told me.
Justin's caught in his lie and he confesses he's afraid. And Juliet sadly leaves. Justin comes to realize he's made a terrible mistake. Jerry tells him it's okay to make mistakes and gives him the keys to the magic carpet so he can catch up with her. I love how genuinely supportive Jerry is. I've said this before, it's easy for sitcoms to have overdramatic, overprotective parents, but Wizards keeps its cast grounded, which is almost necessary with how outlandish the stories and visuals often are. Case in point, this ending where Justin catches up with his girlfriend. They confess their love for each other and fly away into the distance.
I love you too.
What? I can't hear you. Fly closer.
I said, I love you too.
I love you too. Too.
Ever wish you could cast spells like the Wizards of Waverly Place? Now you can with the Spellcaster. You can go to disneychannel.com/Wiztober. Click on Spellcaster, and before you can say Spellus Creatus, you'll have your own personal spell, which could be added to the Wiztober spellbook for other wizards to hear. And if your spell's added to the spellbook, it could be featured on Disney Channel. Plus, you can check out other Wiztastic events, like the Wiztober movie lineup, and find out about special episodes of Disney Channel shows. To join in the thrills and chills of Wiztober, go to disneychannel.com/Wiztober.
Now we've reached the conclusion to this arc. Wizards and vampires versus zombies. The school prom is coming up soon, and Justin is excited to invite Juliet. She's hesitant, however, as she's already been invited to 523 proms, and they haven't gone well. She has dated a lot of young men across her thousands of years of life. Alex and Harper decide to throw an anti-prom to be contrarian, and theme it as a zombie prom, something which Alex actually pitched earlier in the season.
But I'm also the kind of girl who wouldn't be caught dead at prom. Unless it was a zombie prom and we all dressed up like zombies. Oh my gosh, I would so be on the committee for that.
I guess the writers liked the idea. However, Max accidentally sends their zombie prom invitations to actual zombies, who eagerly accept the invite. Harper suddenly has a crush on Zeke, but she's too nervous to ask him out.
I was wondering if maybe you'd like to be on the committee to plan zombie prom. And maybe after we plan it, we could be on the cleanup committee. And in between planning and cleaning, we might as well stop by and make sure everyone's having a good time.
Are you asking me to be on 3 committees? Change my name to extracurricular man. Oh!
So, Alex gives her an anti-fear ring, which gives her the courage to do it. This is unfortunate because Justin needs this ring to serenade Juliet tonight and ask her to go steady.
Hey, you know what they say about older ladies?
What?
They like to eat dinner at 4 and they get amazing discounts.
At prom, Justin sings a terrible and humiliating song to Juliet, and I've just gotta say, this is still a vast improvement over his previous prom.
I'd like to apologize to Miranda Hampson for the way I acted.
Alex realizes there are actual zombies at their zombie prom, which Harper tries to pick a fight with due to her anti-fear ring. Alex rushes to get Justin. Zeke challenges the zombies to a dance battle, and now we get a showdown like no other. The zombies lose their limbs and are forced to leave in humiliation. I don't know why Max is at prom. Back in season 1, they justified 10th grade Justin going to prom because his date was an 11th grader. Here though, they just don't even try. Max is just at prom. The anti-prom turned out so popular that Alex decides she'll have to attend the regular prom next year. Juliet accepts Justin's request to go steady, and they kiss for the first time. Which makes me wonder what they were talking about in the last episode when they said they were getting serious too fast. What were they doing exactly? This marks the end of Juliet's introduction arc. She had all this advertising and promotion behind her, which in turn made her very memorable to me. Like Zeke, I genuinely didn't remember him at all. He's the most frequently appearing character in the show behind the main 6, and yet I have a complete and total memory blackout towards his existence, despite the fact that I vividly remembered some of his lines.
Justin Russo wins by a total of 6 votes.
I'd like to withdraw my vote.
Okay. Justin wins by 5 votes.
Evidently, these multi-part events were a huge success because the show kept pumping these out for the rest of its run. Event-based stories will come to define the 3rd and 4th season of the show.
Selena, I'm glad you came to me. I got just the thing for your opening monologue. It's something I've been working on. It's a catchy little tune. All right, ready? Here it goes. Floyd, hit it. It's Studio DC, so come and party with me. With all of my friends right here on this knee. I am your host from coast to coast. And there's just one guest star that I love the most, David Henry. Yes, sirree, that David Henry. Oh, he is so funny. He's that handsome young lad from Waverly Place. And a new movie called Dadnap, so remember his face. That's David Henry, D-A-I-V-D-H-E-N-R-I.
David, don't you think it'd be a little weird that I'm singing all about you in my monologue?
What? That song could be about anyone.
Okay, well, thanks, David. You were a lot of help.
I was?
Kind of. All right, bye, guys. See you later.
I got a good feeling.
Now for the season finale. Retest. Kelbo interrupts a wizard lesson and tells Jerry that due to a technicality, they have to retake their family wizard competition.
You mean somebody else?
All of us?
Who's all of us?
No one.
It turns out that Jerry and Kelbo have an estranged sister named Megan, who cut ties with them after Jerry gave his powers to Kelbo over her. The odds of her coming back to them are slim, and if she refuses to come, then the Russo's family's powers will have to be revoked, including the kids. Now they have to search for their long-lost aunt.
Well, the problem is nobody knows where she is.
I have a magnifying glass. Will that help?
She's not tiny.
She said she was an ant.
This really makes no sense to me, at all. We never find out what the specific technicality is, because the writers probably hadn't figured out what a family wizard competition is at this point, and thus can't get into specifics. But let's track this. Jerry wins the competition and gives his powers away so he can marry Teresa. Then they have 3 kids. Those 3 kids still inherit wizard powers despite Jerry not having them anymore, which implies to me that it's some sort of recessive gene that still lingers in Jerry somehow. So now, why would their powers get revoked if the test isn't retaken by their dad, aunt, and uncle? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but by the show's own logic, they'd still have magic powers regardless of whether their aunt, uncle, or dad won the competition, right? This episode makes it clear that all 3 initial participants have to be present for the retest. What would happen if one of the siblings had passed away since the original test? What do they do if it turns out Megan's dead? And on that note, how does the family wizard competition work if divorce happens? Let's say, after having Alex, Justin, and Max, Jerry divorces Teresa and meets a new woman, where he has 2 new kids with her. Are those kids in turn competing with Alex, Justin, and Max, or would there be 2 completely separate competitions due to separate unions? The quest for Megan isn't going well.
Once y'all lose your powers, we should really use the wizard's lair as a quiet room, just for Mom.
Mom, what's a quiet room?
You'll never know.
That's when Justin finally discovers her via a police record. She's living in Paris, France. The kids teleport to her loft, which is right next to the Eiffel Tower, which I cannot imagine is cheap real estate. The fact that Sweet Life on Deck is canonically part of the same universe means that Megan might have looked out her window and seen the season 2 finale breakup in Paris happening in real time. That's so crazy. Are we gonna talk about how the wizards teleported to Paris? Previously in the show, you'd have to use a transport stick or an inter-wizard people porter.
The IPP.
As the scope of the show expands, so too does the scope of the magic. We've seen Harper teleported across oceans, and we've seen the kids teleport to France. So wizards can now teleport anywhere in the world from here on out. But the side effect is that those magical items from earlier are now very, very redundant with the benefit of hindsight. And the graphic appearance of flashing out has changed. For the rest of the series, there are strobe light effects that happens when characters flash into place. That didn't happen before. Megan absolutely refuses to come back and see her siblings. She's a painter with a rebellious and rambunctious side to her.
It's the latest in my series called Every Russo for Themselves.
And the episode spends time drawing a very close comparison between her and Alex. Megan herself says that Max reminds her of Kelbo.
You remind me of a brother I used to have named Calbo.
Really? Because I have an uncle named Kelbo. It couldn't be the same guy because my Kelbo is an uncle and yours is a brother.
Yep. You're just like him.
Thank you.
It wasn't a compliment.
Thank you.
It was an insult.
Thank you.
The episode's going out of its way to very clearly demonstrate that Justin, Alex, and Max parallel Jerry, Megan, and Kelbo. This is the one thing I vividly remember. So well, in fact, that I thought this was a multi-part episode, and Megan was a recurring character across multiple seasons, despite this being her only appearance. For 10 years, this episode was one of the very first things that popped in my head when I thought about Wizards of Waverly Place. And I think what the episode is trying to do is show how Jerry, Megan, and Kelbo represent a potential future for our 3 protagonists. Their once strong childhood bond is shattered and broken over the outcome of their competition, something that could happen to Alex, Justin, and Max if they lose sight of what's important. Megan refuses to return, but Alex lies and says that Jerry and Kelbo are ready to apologize, plead on their knees for her forgiveness. She returns, and naturally, that doesn't happen. Jerry and Megan begin fighting immediately.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my God. Megan. It's Megan. I remember you. You're my sister.
Megan refuses to retake the competition because she wants her siblings to be powerless just like her.
Yeah, Jerry will still win and give his powers to Calbo, and all of my hard work will be for nothing. And I really don't like hard work.
Oh my gosh, she is just like me.
The conversation isn't going well, and Megan leaves. Kelbo hires a fish lawyer, the spiritual successor to the messenger fish.
Is there any legal solution?
We're toast. Okay, it looks like it's over. Me, I'm heading to Atlantic City. You, my friend, get the hotel room, I'll get the plane ticket.
This time, Teresa returns with Alex to plead with Megan, but Megan refuses to go. Alex defaces Megan's painting with magic, which opens up a philosophical argument about what's considered art and what isn't. Like, is magic art like AI art? Is it art? There's so many questions. The show's not here to answer them. With Megan refusing to return, the lair is cleared out, and Alex tells her siblings she isn't willing to give up on them. I just realized I never added wizards can't marry mortals to this list. It would take me like 2 hours to go back and retroactively change all of them, so it's just gonna go right here. The next day, Mr. McFly of the Wizard Council arrives to remove the wizard power panel. Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that the source of Alex, Justin, and Max's powers is in these canisters in the wall, but also simultaneously an energy ball that Crumbs can pull out of them. Seeing as they teleported to Paris, there doesn't seem to be any range limitation on the canisters. What would happen if, say, Max's canister gets cracked or broken? Can it be repaired, or would he be out of the running? The siblings, as part of Alex's scheme, peacefully concede the competition. Mr. McFly is so blown away by their sibling bond that he decides to let them keep their powers.
You know what? I'm gonna let you keep your powers.
That's against the rules. I don't know if you're allowed to...
And look, if it comes up, Mr. McFly was never here. Thank you. Wow.
So technically, Alex and co are secret wizards now, right? If they're no longer registered, they shouldn't have an upcoming family wizard competition scheduled anymore, because theoretically the wizard government shouldn't know they have their powers. The show, I guess, forgets about the logic this episode established though, because there is a family wizard competition eventually. But look at what Mr. McFly says.
Every day I see the wizard competition tear families apart. Even I haven't seen my own sister in years.
Why do they even have the family wizard competition if it's just known for ripping apart generations of siblings and destroying families? The only thing I can think of is limiting the number of wizards in the gene pool in the world, but if that's the case, it clearly isn't working because Alex, Justin, and Max have powers while their dad's immortal. Justin tells Alex that at the end of the day, she isn't like Megan, because Alex never gave up on her siblings and worked to keep the family together, something Megan would never do. I think this is a phenomenal ending. The show has not lost sight of its characters, and especially Alex and Justin's dynamic, after a full 50 episodes, is still going strong. Despite being a completely standalone story, Retest proves essential to the duration of the series. It raises the question, will the kids start to fall apart when the competition comes? Todd Greenwald has even expressed heavy interest in a Wizards of Waverly Place prequel series about Jerry, Kelbo, and Megan, rooted in this episode, which would culminate with Jerry giving up his powers. His tweet didn't get the traction he wanted, and honestly, this sounds like a terrible idea because we already know how it would end going in. And Jerry's siblings are just foils to this show's already existing protagonists, so that would literally be Wizards of Waverly Place, but again. There are far better ways to return to this universe, but I'll link the tweet so we can help him get all the retweets he wants. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the second season of Wizards of Waverly Place draws to a close, with a sweet character moment and hundreds of questions raised by the lore of the show cracking under its own weight. I don't remember these major Keystone events being so close together, but apparently just 2 weeks after the Wizards vs. Vampires saga, and just 1 week after Retest, came the biggest event of the summer of 2009. Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie.
This is gonna be the best vacation ever.
It was supposed to be the family trip they'd always remember.
Say paradise.
Paradise!
But one accidental spell
I wish you and Dad had never even met!
will take them
What did you just do?
on their biggest
This is a very bad thing.
adventure.
Mom and Dad don't know each other, and they don't know us.
What's your plan?
Find the Stone of Dreams. Can do anything.
You can reverse any spell.
There's not a lot of time.
Justin! You don't help me!
Wizards of Waverly
I
Place.
hear the more you struggle, the faster you sink.
The movie premieres in August on Disney Channel.
That's what we'll discuss once part 2 begins. Until then, to wrap up part 1, I want to talk about the Wizards of Waverly Place Lost pilot. Like most sitcoms, Wizards had an initial pilot episode that was used to pitch the series to the executives. Todd J. Greenwald described the pilot in a 2017 interview. Originally titled The Amazing Inheritance, it was radically different per usual and focused on twin siblings Jordan, played by David Henry, and Julia, played by Selena Gomez. They were named after Todd's own kids. Max didn't exist. Because of the currently airing Nickelodeon series Just Jordan, Disney necessitated changing Jordan's name for the final series. Julia's name was then changed as well out of fairness to his real son Jordan. Dallas Lovato played Jordan's love interest, Chelsea Kane played a character named Rachel, and Brandon Michael Smith played Jordan's best friend. Crazy stuff, I feel like barely anyone knows this exists at all. Todd Greenwald indicated he'd love to release the pilot back in 2017, but it never happened. I uncovered 3 pieces of actual Transformers Lost media this year, one of which no one even knew existed until I found it by accident in a thrift store containing Transformers animated series art director Derek J. Wyatt's estate. And I don't want to stop there. I want to see these pilots uncovered somehow. I just have no leads, really. Also, the Lab Rats pilot I talked about in the Elite Force video would be sick. And the Jonas pilot, I want to see those. I decided to split this video and I realized the complete project was going to clock in close to 8 or 9 hours. I ran some polls and a lot of people said that runtime would deter them from clicking the video. Part 2 will cover the 16:9 HD era of the show, spanning the movie, the 3rd and 4th seasons, and the reunion special. There, we'll meet Mason, the full extent of the wizard world's corrupt xenophobia will become clear, and we'll finally learn who will become the family wizard. Be sure to use this HelloFresh code and I'll see you there.